you the download link recently to the proper intro.
He's never gonna download. He'll never download the proper intro.
I gave the Christmas
when
silence
on Pear's channel, Phil will be just dead forever.
There is a firework one, right?
It is for the July.
There's a firework one?
Yeah, it's in the thing. There's even a firework one from 4th of July. We're gonna, okay, I'll send the link again. I'll go into the group chat and I'll find the firework one and we can play it when we hit midnight because of 4th though.
I'm weirded out by Shade
I don't see
Phil.
nothing. But yeah, happy 4th to everyone, or 3rd. May the 3rd be with you.
It's the 4th here, so happy Independence Day.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think we should get rid of all that. We should all just have the same time in the entire world.
You guys will have an Independence
really
Day
not
one
work
day.
out well.
How would that? Who would be the keeper of the normal time? The
We had this
GMT?
exact conversation. So I don't want to do it again.
No.
That's what the next world war will be. Who
Yeah,
gets
whoever
to be the
wins,
keeper
it
of
gets to be their time.
The thing is, I don't know if the conversation was on a stream or off a stream, so I just wanted to relive the fun of that conversation by giving the exact same line verbatim back to you this time.
Yeah. Let's do, I got a good show for you guys. So let's do everyone's week. And I want to start on the presentation at 30 minutes. So everyone gets
Cool.
Oh, you mean on the
6
hour?
minutes.
All right, I'll go first. I got this gummy popsicle, and I'm going to show it to you guys.
Wasting time. Wasting time.
And you tell me how.
By the way, have you guys noticed how naked Phil's face looks?
Phil, why
I
do you
really hate
look like that? This isn't allowed.
I just commented on it. It's weirding me out.
He kind of looks like Damon from
This
the
is
Loose.
not Phil. Stop.
That's right. I wear the motorcycle helmet in this.
Chiseled jawline, and
Put
and
those
it makes you look
sideburns
younger.
back on, please. Oh god.
Who knew? Yeah, so that was my week. I shaved my face and I got a haircut, and I de-aged by 5 years.
Congrats.
And we're coming out with Magic Cop 1 soon.
Haven't you? Wouldn't you have already done that? Why did you not do that first?
I read a bunch of stuff last week. I did like many reviews online of the final Vatican City, of Spider-Man Wolverine, and I started reading finally the final Trigun book. I wrote this week as well, which was awesome. I got some Lost Pages 4 pages done writing wise, and now we're gearing up to launch the first story of the Western that we've been teasing all the past few months. So if everything goes as planned, either in August or September, we're going to be selling issue 0 of that. I'm going to announce the title of the project soon. So I got some a trailer in the works that actually isn't in the works yet, but there will be a teaser trailer for the title. So that's what we're working on right now. And yeah, it's been a good week.
You did a good job building the Western up. Everyone has heard whispers of it, and they can't wait.
People were asking about it at Heroes Con, which was really cool.
Whispers on the wind.
That's right. Yeah. So that was my week.
Sunset.
And then Independence Day tomorrow. It's also my mom's birthday tomorrow.
Oh,
is your cowboy project named Brokeback Mountain 2?
It's Broback Mountain.
We don't even know what it is. It could be a cowgirl project for all we know.
That's 13% less gay than Brokeback Mountain. So well done.
There is a woman. There will be female characters, I promise.
There were also women in Brokeback Mountain.
I saw an art drop, and it's got the 90s Michael Turner style, who draws hot babes. So coming back.
It's gonna be good.
Broback summer coming up.
Bringing the bros back.
The bros are coming back. Yeah, I heard this is going to be a cowboy summer. I think that's what who said that? Some white rapper said that.
It's a summer of schwitzen for me.
Oh yeah, explain that.
Just so much sweat that when you have to eat a pickle, you sweat so much. And yeah, it works pretty good. I think it makes you healthy. I think it's an esoteric Jewish knowledge, secret to longevity.
Well,
sweating a ton.
Well, here's the thing. Sweating is linked to being heated, and I did read something. I mean, I didn't read it. I skimmed it. It's something about like in the past, mankind would go through heat spikes on a regular basis, and then this activates this part of the DNA, which stops you aging and getting dementia. And so, like schwitzing, you're essentially dementurating your future.
I mean, there could be
showers and go swim in ice water.
Yeah, you could do that too. I think they say ice dunking's good for you.
Just don't be comfortable, basically. Either hot or freezing, and you'll live longer.
I mean, there could be some truth to it, because aren't all the countries that do the hot spring kind of culture, or like Japan, they do the soaking in a hot bath after you wash, and then
they do soaking in Japan.
I think that's the Mormons. The Mormons do soaking, right?
Yeah, I was the Mormon thing.
Oh, no, in Japan you sit and you just soak in a tub when hot water is supposed to be healthy for you, and they live like 150 years old. So
I didn't think you did it in a tub. I thought you did it on a bed.
Yeah, and then you do
You're thinking of something else.
What's it?
You're
what
thinking
do you
of
do
cold
with
sweats when you have a
soaking?
fever.
No, it's soaking.
No, Bancroft.
My innocent mind.
You need a third person, right? There needs
That's
to
what
be
I'm saying, to do the jumping.
Oh my god.
There's a jumper. Yeah, because if you're thrusting yourself, that is sin.
Okay. Here's the thing: because a third person is involved in soaking, do you think they pre-organize to take turns? Like, listen, I can't. You're doing half the jumping here. You jump for a bit, then we'll switch.
I didn't even know that was a term that could be related to the bedroom.
It's the
My innocent ears.
I blame Joseph Smith.
It's the only way to be intimate without.
I don't think Joseph Smith came up with soaking.
He was just banging everybody's wife.
I think people, innovate.
Yeah.
A religion that just doesn't teach you, like, oh, if you just cheat in any way, you're fucked. Like, it's just cheating. Like, baseline, don't cheat.
Yeah, it's like the Orthodox Jews with all their little knickknacks and mechanisms so that they don't break the rules on Sabbath.
Oh yeah, you're not allowed to carry a brick outside, but if you wrap a string around it, then technically it's inside. That's what I heard.
I don't know. I'm kind of impressed by that dedication.
There was a thing that pushes the elevator button without you pushing the elevator button, which allowed them to go on the elevator on the Sabbath.
My cousins they just keep all the lights kind of taped to like half on. As long as you don't touch them throughout the day, it's fine.
Yeah.
Cheaters.
At that point,
I'm okay with that.
Why? I don't understand a whole group of people that thinks like, I'll get one over on this whole God thing.
That's not. No, it's to technically obey, but also not be too inconvenienced in the modern world.
Yeah, you don't.
Okay, I mean, if you really wanted to, you could just go live in a cave every Sunday. Feel free.
Maybe that was the point.
Okay.
All this is Mormon.
Well, I'll tell the rest of Judaism. You disagree.
Okay. Oh no, Bancroft's things got pulled up. It's time.
What do you guys think of this fractured mind? What do you
Speaking of soaking,
it's very well colored.
Bancroft, this is your week. Well, let's do your week next.
Yeah, how's your week, Michael?
Yeah, busy, very busy. Well, actually, it's been a little bit more relaxed. It was busy leading up to it.
For sure, yeah.
It was a bit frantic. I was doing the trailer up till like 2 or 3 a.m. the night before going live. But it's been a fantastic week. Almost 240 backers.
Amazing.
Next one,
great start.
Is makes it 10 away from 250. Yeah, it was awesome. I said beforehand, because you never know. Like I'm not the artist, even though Rod is an amazing artist. It's a prequel book, and I know people are really chomping at the bit to get the next one in the series. But I'm doing what Arini did as well with a 2.5.
Yay.
But I was like, like 130 would be good on day one, and I think by the time it was like 24 hours was up, it was over 200. So yeah.
Nice.
We smashed that number on the first stream.
It did.
Part one did this. It did like the thing where it gets into the story in media res, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so this prequel is not like, what do you call it? It's not like just what is it word? It's
Not
like,
unwarranted.
Yeah, it's like a very
It's warranted.
necessary. Yeah. So it's part of the story, so it feels very canon and fun. Yeah.
And well, I'm not gonna like show them falling in love or anything. So it kind of also leaves the door open later if I ever wanted to go down that path. Not that I'm really writing a romance story, but if I ever wanted to, I'll leave that open as well. It's more about them meeting and her state of mind and what Damon has to offer and what is preventing her from doing what she needs to do and all that sort of stuff.
I like that too, that you're leaving still parts for the audience to like imagine it kind of thing.
Yep.
Are you going to be sprinkling many hints to the main story within?
I have a list of things that I maybe want to address in some way, and I've been like ticking it off and making sure that there's some sort of thing in there. So yes, absolutely. I think if you read Fractured Mind, you will come away from it with a better understanding of what's happening in Waking Dream and Painted Death. For sure.
Yeah,
cool.
And Adam Lawson gave it a nice, high praise.
Yeah,
he's one of the highest backers in the whole scene. He's backed over 400 books, and he reads them all.
Oh, wow,
a good sign.
Yeah, he's a huge reader too. Like he's picking up books
praise
every week from the shop too.
Yeah. And he said Lucent is the best thriller like of all the books he's read, and he'd put it in the top 10 of all the books.
Yeah, that was awesome. I made a supercut of that overlaid with images from the story, and then I made Rob watch it. And I just sat there for 2 minutes.
Nice.
Well, one thing I want to ask, I feel like the red and Bluecent probably just came from trial and error in the coloring process. It wasn't planned, but now is this going to be a key color scheme for the side story book? So you're going to maintain the red and teal?
I hadn't thought about that. Possibly. I mean, I didn't even plan on the Bluecent becoming a thing. It just happened organically.
I thought this was a new color scheme for the side stories too.
Yeah, well, I'm not against it. I love it. I mean, as soon as I started,
colorist, his mind is drunk on coloring.
Yeah, I never used red as a highlight, and then I just started seeing it everywhere, and I was like, oh, I love that. I want to introduce that at some point. And I thought there's a moment in Fractured Mind where Damon starts really like digging into like what's going on in her mind, and that's when the red highlight starts coming in. So that's what it's sort of relating to. But I don't know. I mean, the next one I want to do is my Viking Wizard side story. So
yay!
You know what the red reminds me of, Michael?
What's that?
Shadowpunk.
Yeah. Shadowpunk also does blue and red.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Is in the Viking one, wouldn't you assume there's a ton of blood? Seeing as it's Vikings, the red could end up being just falling back into it because of that.
Yeah, that sounds good.
It's a good idea there.
And then real quick,
thanks,
27
Ethan.
people watching, everyone here. So thanks everyone for being here. And yeah, we're Michael just launched this a few days ago, so we're kind of helping pimp that tonight. Got a presentation on randomness, which I'm excited to share with everyone. And yeah, this is still live for 6 more days. My original art sales, we're over 10K now, which is fun.
You're officially over 10K now.
Yeah, officially.
Yes, yeah.
Does that mean we can officially play the? Oh, I think I took the 10K off the site.
Oh my god!
Next week or something. Yeah,
I can find it and put it back on.
Unofficially, you're over 11K. Fair.
Yeah, because there's a few backers who've backed twice. Which, if anyone's already backed a page and wants to get another, you can DM me and we can do it. But Kickstarter will only let you back once. So yeah, but you can get the signed 3-packs, and there's still a handful of great pages. Phil was talking about one that with Jesus is still available. That's one of the cooler pages.
No one buy it.
Yeah.
You can only back once on Kickstarter?
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah,
should-
yeah.
The
I
more
think
I
so.
hear about Kickstarter, the more annoyed I get.
Yeah.
Well,
You know what?
Hang
You
on. You can edit your backing.
Right, you could always
Oh, okay.
update.
Well, that's
you could,
good. Yeah.
You could always update your backing, but it would have to be updated with like add-ons or to a higher tier. So if you want 3 of, say, a book, and there's only like a 2-pack there, and they don't have an extra add-on for a book, you can only get that 2-pack.
Got
Got it.
on other people's Kickstarters, you'll like just back a higher number and then message them. Actually, I also get this.
Yeah,
And
I
they're
guess.
like, okay. I did that for like a bunch of prints once on a campaign, and then they never sent them to me at any of it.
Oh.
And years later,
you can
like,
donate
that's
however much money you want, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Wounda. I'm not backing another freaking book ever again. From a rando booby book on Kickstarter. They don't even send it.
Yeah, that's another thing. If you don't fill out the survey, the creator never knows your address. So you can't send it to you.
My week relates to Bancroft's week. If you want to share my thing,
Yes.
Bancroft had an amazing launch.
Oh my goodness!
I don't know how many people are in the crossover between this stream and Bancroft's launch stream. If you weren't, so he did do a different campaign for trading cards, and apparently there were these super rare, hyper rare cards that
That's what we should call them now. Hyper rare.
hyper rare.
Hyper.
Ultra rare.
Perfect.
Hyper rare.
Because I got them all. Okay, Pear, guess how many packs I opened to get these for?
1.
What?
There's
No,
only one per pack.
there's one per pack.
I'll let you know. I'll let you know. So that purple one was in 1 in 3 packs. The yellow ones was in 1 in 10 packs.
Wow.
Okay.
So how
So
many?
how many
did
did you open?
How many?
Jake is
Yes.
fresh off the gamification boat from Japan, and he loves it.
True. He's
Okay.
an expert. He's a pro at pulling rare cards.
So Pear.
Yeah. Oh, actually, you know what? I bet you opened 40.
No, I opened 5.
Okay,
Wow.
so you're a lucky dog.
How many did you buy?
I bought 4 and I won 1 in a giveaway, and that was probably the one that didn't have anything in it.
You only bought 4?
He only bought 4. I forgot about it. It's even worse.
It's
Yeah.
worse.
You
But
forgot, Bancroft. You forgot to shuffle them.
Yeah.
No, when this was happening, I went through a detailed breakdown of my shuffling technique and how it was completely randomized. And yeah, like there were people who got 20 packs who I don't think got a single ultra rare.
I know. So the people who did that and are watching, obviously I'm laughing and joking about it. It does suck. Commiserations. Like I've been
Very
there too.
sincere.
I've opened many a loot box. I've been addicted to loot box opening in games. I know how it sucks. But you know, I can now be called the Gilgamesh. And they are now called hyper rares. It was all on stream as well. It was there's no way of saying it was fake. It was all open on stream.
Yeah, he opened the box that was individually had its own little drawing of Jake's hedgehog thing on it. It was like a magic trick. You know when they make you draw something on it so you know it's the legit. It was like that, except it wasn't a magic trick. It was real, and you can tell like from my expression, we couldn't believe it.
It was insane. Like to be honest, you kind of couldn't ask for a better bit of fuckery for like a launch stream. That's like
because you know the rigged thing goes back to when I won my own giveaway for a Cryptidnals book, and then it's happened a couple of times again where I'll be like, oh, I'll enter because you know such and such can't or whatever, and I'll win. And then it happened to Joe Sontag. He entered because the other guy couldn't enter and he won. So yeah, there's a
rigging going on is what I'm hearing.
Well, yeah, apparently these are rare. I need to I have to like put them in a special display. The 3, the pyramid of
Yeah.
Wait, I can make a ziggurat out of my Gilgameshes.
Oh my
If-
god.
You know what would be kind of funny is if Bancroft beforehand had been like, and if you get 3 of them, then you can
Yeah.
trade them in, and I'll give
Right.
you like bones.
I'll have you get my house or your name
Yeah,
tattooed. Like, I give you
That'll
an elephant.
never happen.
Yeah, you win an elephant. But yeah, other than that, I actually started streaming again on a channel I have. I did a multi-hour Bender building stream. Check this Bender. He's fucking cool. He's very sturdy. But yeah, and in the back, yeah, this is him with his full accoutrements. In the background,
His bling.
in the background, there lurks what was revealed on this Monday. You ready? You ready for this?
Hold up.
Dun, dun, dun! That is amazing.
The sign up is live for the Kickstarter of Connell the Barbarian. You can find it at go to connellcomic.com and click on Kickstarter. But this is the cover. What do you guys think?
Wow.
Lovely.
Oh,
That's right.
it's so good. The colors are great.
I was
Yeah,
showing
I
all
like
the
the
all the
rainbow.
little lady bits to Rob.
He got I guess he got a bit burnt out on it from being seen on a previous stream. But look at these. Look at the weight in these memories.
Yeah,
Oh
really good anatomy.
But yeah, this is by Kionauki, I think is how you pronounce it. Yeah, this.
All right.
What's your secret for meeting random artists?
Oh, so okay, I was just looking for artists that I kind of knew. We were both already following each other on Twitter before this.
That's awesome.
And I checked out the stuff and I'm like, this is amazing. And then I saw that they also did some Common America covers, and they did say commissions open. And I'm like, right, okay. Because I always want people to be okay with the stuff in Connell before they agree to do anything, draw anything. So I'm like, okay, here is the full story in a slideshow and blah blah blah. Check it out, see what you think. And I had my fingers crossed, please be into it, please be into it. And they were like, it's just at the line for what I would do. But yes, they ended up really loving the characters, loving the story. So yeah, this will be available as the main cover on, let me find the page, on the Kickstarter. If you go to the Connell website, which now even has this down the bottom, check this out. Seem familiar?
Oh my god. It's
Hey! Yeah.
But yeah, if you click Kickstarter, it'll jump over to this page where there's 24 people notified so far. And it has the trailer, some info, little mock-up of the cover, and it even shows the trading card you get for signing up. This is the little hammy card that Irene has drawn. It's the second in the sign-up series, so it goes along with the hedgie.
It's Irene returning to her old art style.
My
The one that
my
went viral
true
in
form.
Mexico. Yeah.
Right, yeah, the diabetes cutesy art.
This
it has
is
nothing to do with carnal, but it's very cute, so you want it.
this is Irene's non-union Mexican equivalent art over here.
Yeah.
If you ever got sick of doing comics, you could just retire to Japan and just draw 1,000 of these and sell them,
Maybe, yeah.
Make a whole cast of line stickers, and then one day it'll be an anime. You have a higher chance of getting an anime if you just make popular line stickers.
Yeah. It's if all the high effort stuff doesn't work out, there are two paths to take. It's either draw boobs or draw cute things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, screw all this complex, epic, long storytelling nonsense. Just draw cute little animals eating.
Yeah.
By the way, Jake, you're
We're
now
trying
cutting
too
into
hard.
Renee's week.
No, it's okay.
Wow. Damn, he's on top of it.
To get that card, you
look
have
at
to
this.
sign up. You have to go to bluedickaxe.com. The different URLs go to different pages now. If you want that card, you have to sign up. That's the thing. We were talking about Kickstarter and what it doesn't do. I can't even track who signed up. Like that's the thing that sucks. So
Hell yeah.
you-
Oh yeah. Everyone sign up for this. Yeah, sorry,
That's
I didn't put this into the description. I forgot that
oh, that's all right.
it's not live. Yeah, but
Tis no
yeah,
worry.
that's awesome. Everyone sign up.
Alex
Um,
got the link in
Post
there.
the links, mods, and skip
Yeah,
people.
and just the last thing today, this morning, because we have a week to go till the launch, a week to go till July 10th. So I'm posting cool stuff every day. I'm trying to do a big countdown, and this morning I shared more covers. Anyone recognize the old Sketchy Starts cover?
It's
Nice.
another one.
Well, yeah, this is a redraw, recolor of the first one to be more badass, and it now connects with the because everything's different on the new campaign. So I even had to do a new one for the side book. Otherwise, people would have two of the exact same thing if they bought the bundles.
Oh yeah.
So now you'll get no duplicate anything on either campaign. Like that's it, no duplicates. If you're
So
a big
this is-
backer.
This cover is still the same interiors, but it's the Kickstarter version of Sketchy Starts.
Yes, yeah, it's the same book. But like, yeah, when you for the handful of people that are gonna get both of the huge bundles, because I know they exist, you will get nothing duplicated, no duplicate books.
Cool.
So, yeah, people were speculating about the schematic over here, but yeah, who knows?
We got 31,
Wait.
31 people watching, so sign up for Jake's thing, everyone. Pretty please, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Rini,
Yes.
how was your week?
My week, I had a significantly less adventurous week than you guys because I was mostly just working on this giant spread that I can't show because it's kind of pretty spoilery. I can show like one corner, but have to be really careful. One tiny corner. Oh no. Okay, let's see.
And you fixed your heater, right?
Oh yeah, it's fine. It's
Heater.
fine.
I already
Awesome.
saw that
Plant
on Twitter.
Dominatrix.
There's
Have you
something
guys
else.
seen Evil Dead 1 where the lady gets raped by the vines in the
Yeah.
forest?
No, but I want to now.
Yeah.
Evil Dead 2's better. Yeah, this looks
Here you
awesome.
go.
Make
Yeah.
her
It's
big.
only one corner
Look.
of it, but
Oh yeah. I can make it.
Missed the chance.
should I embiggen? Hold on.
Just
hold on,
show
hold
the
on.
rest, but stand back.
No. Hold on. I'm gonna use this
Oh,
piece
sorry.
of paper. That is me planning out the Fiendish 3 campaign. So look, wow. This is everything on the campaign. I will
So
cover the
autistic.
most spoilery part. Wait.
You're not wrong.
Autism.
Okay.
Autism.
There you go.
Ooh, whose hand is
Some
that?
magic stuff there.
Dunno. Well,
Looks
this
good.
one, the one holding the flower, that's Yomi's hand.
It
Oh,
looks
don't-
just-
no
Given the
spoilers.
flower. Yeah.
that's
But
what
yeah,
a hand
there's-
looks like. Oh my god.
The question you should be asking is whose foot is peeking out from under here?
Carmen.
Yomi's foot.
No.
Yomi's
No.
foot.
No,
dude.
that's a
I can
very
tell it's a
large
dude.
foot. It is a dude. Yeah, her feet are very dainty. It doesn't look like that, but yes, that is a very exciting reveal for a new character.
I know who
It's
it
gonna
is.
be
Go on,
yeah,
guess.
yeah.
A new character.
He totally knows. He telepathically has figured it out.
It's Gilgamesh back for more.
It's my version of Gilgamesh.
Who is it?
Well, you guys will probably find out at the launch. Because I think there's no point in keeping it that secret. I'm gonna have the character in the trailer, but yeah, secret for now. So I spent most of the week working on this spread, and then today was like this big adventure of trying to get the thing scanned because I have a 11x17 scanner here, but at home, but like. Because that was a spread, it's 2 sheets of paper taped together, and there's a seam, right? And if you scan, I can fold it in half and scan one side and then the other side and then stitch it together, but it's just basically impossible to stitch it perfectly. So I want to find a print shop that has a big roller scanner to feed it in and scan the whole thing at once. But the regular print shop I went to closed early today because I forgot it's July 3rd and some places closed early. So I was running all around town, but I found a place. Yeah, they almost snapped my artwork in half, but it got scanned. Everything is fine now. So disaster averted. because I need to get this colored for the launch. That's about it. I just been doing campaign planning stuff. Sign up for Fiendish 3, everybody. Thank you. We're launching this month.
Cool. Yeah. So that's coming up too. Later this month,
Yeah.
that's launching. Snuggy calls it the Summer of Snugs.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
It's kind of the indie comic golden age, is what I've been calling it too.
That's why I'm trying to launch. That's why I'm trying to get this our book out this summer, so I can be part of the Summer of Snugs.
And I was even talking with Christ Scout earlier, and it's like, even if whatever the economics are, in some ways it's down from the height or whatever whatever. But I feel kind of optimistic. I feel really good about the books. The books are really good.
Hey, you know what, Heroes? If Heroes is a sign of anything, people had money and they wanted to spend it.
Yeah, on indie books too.
Yeah, like there is something about the coming alive again about spring and summer. I'd be like, well, duh, but yeah, it's big cock summer, big hot cock.
How's the moon? Can we get a moon update, Jake?
I am launching on the full moon. It's all planned. And then I think Fiendish may also be launching on a moon related date. But yeah, full moon. I'm trying. That's why I'm trying.
Only you would know that.
Yeah.
Right now, I do have a date, the 24th. So there you go. I've been avoiding saying a date, but listen, things have been set into motion. I need to just stop being a baby.
Yes, the 24th is
do it.
The 24th is the new moon, so then it should have an echo of success on the.
I did the same thing, Rainy. I was just like, no, this is the date.
Yeah,
it's happening this date.
I need to just set a date and stop putting it off. Yeah. Just do it.
Indeed.
Stop being a coward.
36 people watching. Everyone, thanks for being here.
Everyone.
Are you guys ready to start this presentation?
Yeah.
So one thing I want to do, I just want you guys to tell me what you think, and maybe that will be the whole presentation. Just you guys doing it. So,
all right. I will say what for me.
The one slide.
I would say when I see this phrase, it's about how sometimes you kind of you try and force something and it's not working, so you just gotta take your hand off the wheel and just let what's gonna happen, and things will just jump in there from either your own life or whatever, or jump in your head, and then that will take it in places that were more random that you weren't expecting. That's how I interpret it. I could be completely wrong.
Yeah, I love that. That's more positive. I'm curious people's positive and negative takes, because it could be either. I've done that. What you're saying, I know exactly what you're talking about. That's a good one.
I think that true randomness in storytelling could not work, but even the perception of random things in a story has to be calculated to work out correctly. Like it's like nonsensical storytelling.
Well,
like Alice in Wonderland is still calculated and has meter to it and pacing, but it's just something that's so silly and nonsensical that
even Xavier Renegade Angel is supremely planned out, but that would seem like just a random fuck fest of things happening, but it isn't random. So it's you could do perceived random versus true random. True random sounds like anti-structure, anti-anticipation,
and horrible. It sounds horrible.
Yes, it does.
Well, even I'm curious. So you guys are a little bit more on the negative side, and then, but one example of what Bancroft was talking about too, is I mentioned this in previous streams maybe, but it's when they were writing There's Something About Mary. They had done multiple drafts where they knew that Ben Stiller had to end up with Cameron Diaz at the end, and it wasn't working because they were forcing it and it was terrible, that it was pissing them off. And then they were like, all right, let's just write a draft where anything can happen and they can just break up, they can hate each other, if that's the way it ends, that's the way it ends. And that freedom ended up saving the script, and they were able to
that reminded me of some character writing tips that led me to walk more towards this path of letting, instead of directing the characters and controlling their paths, kind of having a general idea of how you want them to end up, but letting the characters act out a scene and act out how they will react from within themselves, and which creates a lot of that. I think that is a good way of creating a structured randomness in storytelling, because I think completely random storytelling is kind of how you write when you're 6 years old, right? It's like, and then this happened, and then that's not a story. There needs to be a reason and and bones behind everything. But if you've established a world and you've established a character and you just let the characters act out in an organic way, then it feels natural, and that randomness contributes to verisimilitude.
I mean, stream of consciousness, you're still following a thread. And even something about Mary, or even Dumb and Dumber, Shaggy Dog stories, they do still have, like, this is what who the characters are. Let's walk forward on an adventure and see what we come up with. I don't know if I'd class that as random, but I suppose it's more random than top-down planned.
Well, I guess it depends on your definition of random. Are we talking about like a, nuclear chain reaction is random, or are we just talking about not like the whole, they say, are you a gardener or are you a planner when you're a writer? That's
right. That would be like conceptualizing on the page.
In Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal says, go back to like the fundamentals and get like down into the very core, like what is this person do? What are they about? What is their... And I found if you get that with your character, if every character, like exactly what their basic fundamental drive is, you can throw them into almost any situation with a whole bunch of different characters. And I know it is your brain like doing it, but it feels like you are just letting them go, and then they're interacting, and you can only do that if you know what they want. Ultimately.
Yeah, I'd almost say that if you can't do that, then you have not developed your characters enough.
Mm-hmm.
I've often found them not doing it, and it's because of that. I hadn't really figured it out right.
Yeah. And so the spectrum would be like logic, like planned, whatever, plotted, heavily plotted thing. The other side, random, maybe slightly more unstructured. And we can get into some of this, but
so you could call it leashed and unleashed storytelling.
Yeah, maybe. Randomness seems to unleash you. There's pros and cons.
I mean, there's people who
this is another one, like warm and cool. People will have a thing they like more. Like, do you lean more one way or the other? I think.
People will say you have to stick to the 3-act structure or the 5-act structure or the hero's journey, and then there are other writers that it's just like, I've read books that couldn't be less structured, that were actually amazing, and it was just this meandering web of weird. But it was fascinating, and it was very highly entertaining. And then there's things that are just so locked in, you almost know what's going to happen because it's all one giant collection of archetypes.
Yeah, and I also wonder if you can kind of get a mix, and if maybe that's the best way. But I think I kind of lean more towards, I like the freedom version, the more randomness or whatever. But I also asked Twitter, and a lot of people had echoing some of the stuff we've said. I'll read some of it fast. We'll see if it sparks any more conversation. But randomness, chaos. At first blush, it is neither inherently good nor bad, because it's a mix of both and neither, but unreliable, unpredictable. Nature frustrates planning and preparation. That's the bad. I think he might mean bad too, like it's not bad, it's bad for the characters to get frustrated by their preparation. Like, I don't know. And he says nature. Nature comes up when I think of randomness. Like, there are a lot of things that are random in life. One of them is nature. If the randomness largely falls between predictable bounds, you can perhaps more easily work with it. The upshot is it helps to avoid the doldrums of overly predictable results, which is a little bit what Bancroft was just saying. In storytelling, it depends on perspective. Anything, or I'll move on to the next one.
Yeah, I mean, I literally just got finished watching the 90s hit comedy, heartfelt comedy, Liar Liar. You guys ever see this film?
Amazing film. Amazing.
Classic. Really good. And I mean, Jim Carrey's one of my favorites. I haven't seen it in years. But as that film goes on, it gets more ridiculous. And I think a lot of that is Jim Carrey's improv, like faces he makes, the words, it's all off the cuff when they're filming. And then by the end of the film, it's like, you know, he's on the tarmac on a stair car chasing after a giant jet that is carrying his ex-wife and son. That is like something I would not have thought was going to happen at the start of that film, you know, where it's like, this is almost fantastical in some point, and it is, because, you know, the whole wish thing, but that like unpredictability is very good when telling a story, when you are changing the rules of or expectations of this world, and it kind of ups the story, where it's like, oh, I didn't know we were going to do this in this story. Now opens up a whole new avenue that we can go down.
Yeah,
I think opening up those avenues, it still should be done for a reason, though. For example, it's not. I think stories that are the most entertaining skirt the line of they go in directions that you don't expect. So in that way, it feels random, but they're also thematically very consistent at the same time. So the cleverness, a good writer should be clever enough to walk that line, if that makes sense, to make something feel completely unpredictable and surprise the reader at every turn, but also you're still playing on the themes and the characters are consistent and you're developing on the initial promise to the reader in surprising ways. Because as soon as I heard the word randomness, I thought of, you know, how a lot of modern movies are, how they're incapable of being serious, and you'll be in the middle of a fight scene and somebody will crack a joke, and that's the exact wrong kind of randomness. So it's not so much that surprise is always good. Well, it's not. It should be done for a thematically sound reason.
Yeah,
for sure. Everybody cracks jokes now.
Yeah, I agree with all that, and I forget there's some slides that come up. Doc. Oh yeah, because theme and is like a little bit at odds with randomness, and getting best of both worlds is a challenge. And yeah, and I don't even know. Like, it's hard to think of examples that do it really good. We can think about a few. Admiral Wackass says, should be used sparingly in serious works, but can have great effect. It's hard to say whether it is true randomness, though, because it is by design, which we've talked about that. Just like you can't really design a true RNG. I have a soft spot for its use in more popcorn stuff, though. Like in this Korean show, Bad Guys, I recall they kept writing dead ends, and then the device they used to get out of it was just someone would get hit by a car, which is funny. Yeah.
Just get used to that.
Yeah. Yeah. And Mistress Manto, depends on how random. Yeah, a lot of people are kind of saying depends, which is good stuff. Yeah. Example of good random, in my opinion, is Kroll or Dark Crystal. You're along for the ride as all these new things are introduced that don't use our logic, and it's okay because it fits and serves the story. That's a little bit what Rini was just saying. A Looney Tunes gag is a good random. We go along to get a laugh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Continue.
I think of M. Night Shyamalan's twists, and I don't care how well set up they are. That kind of random makes going along for the ride cheap and not worth the time spent, less fulfilling. In tabletop RPG, collab storytelling as random as possible is cool depending on the tone of the game. That's kind of
that sort of reminded me of something, M. Night Shyamalan. There's no coincidence in a story. If you have a coincidence in a story, people won't accept it.
They'll get mad. Yeah,
everything kind of happens for a meaning, for a reason. Like, even basic things like bumping into someone on the street is usually serving some kind of purpose. But just especially really rare coincidences that do happen every day in life. Or say, for instance, someone just dying randomly. Like the character is going through their arc and then they just die tragically in a car accident.
Yeah.
That's not no one does that because that's not a story unless that's part of a greater story.
I have heard that the audience is okay with coincidences as long as it gets the characters in trouble. Like if it's a Deus Ex Machina and they get out of trouble or the solution is random, then it's unappealing. But
you can do it to expound on their character and like say, like, oh, I haven't seen you in years. Are you still with such and such? And have a natural way of introducing information about the character. That's fine. But like, if you think of pretty much anything, they never rely on just random chance benefiting the purpose of what the main character is trying
never
to do.
A benefit, but say like, okay, we got to infiltrate this place. We just have to hope that they haven't upgraded the fence. Cut to all of the fences are now like thicker and have electric. Like that's essentially a coincidence, but it creates an obstacle and it ends up being actually appealing for a story. But yeah,
Snugs, the ring wanted to be found. That's why it slipped off. Slipped away from friggin' Gollum.
Yeah.
Because it knew Bilbo was down there.
Yeah, that's cool. Lord of the Rings is good stuff.
When the ring just hover all the way to the end of the game.
Yeah. No, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
That's not how it works.
Some rude Goldberg machine by the power of will of the ring.
That's kind of funny though. Aldous says, when executed well, randomness is fantastic. However, it rarely is, and instead becomes across as fundamentally broken. CJ says, sadly, I think of randomness as bad, but I may be looking at it in the wrong context. I think of Star Wars sequel trilogy where Luke is randomly a hobo on an island. I know, that's funny. And the plot randomly spirals in an incoherent direction.
I think Aldous, if you go back to Aldous, is where he says, I'm kind of literally taking that. If executed well, randomness it feels like fantasy. It feels fantastic. Like it feels otherworldly. Like if you read the Dark Tower series, it is bonkers. It starts as you think you're getting into a Western, and then like by the fourth book, the team of protagonists are on a bullet train that is sentient, and they have to tell it riddles and to break its mind so it doesn't crash into a building and kill them all. Like it's so random and weird that it works, and it's fantastic. But I think that is just a guise of randomness, and it's all structured and planned by the writer.
Yeah. That's almost like there's a third category. So there's randomness that is planned to just look random. There's actual randomness, which I don't even know. Yeah, maybe nothing is like that. And then there's super planned, logical,
Well, anyone, Rainy, you might know this. Anytime you are an artist trying to make random marks, like maybe stars, you find that you space them out evenly because you're thinking that's random. In reality, that's not random. They cluster, they spread out, they differ in sizes. You could get 3 massive chunky stars right on top of each other. That's random. But you wouldn't do that. So you try to purposefully make it appear more random, which is ironically making it less random.
Yeah.
Starting out as an artist, that is a problem. That makes me think of the golden ratio is like almost a visual balance between structure and randomness, though, because you don't want everything to be completely evenly spaced, but going for there's an instinctive spacing and aesthetic balance to anything visual that appeals to people that is in between chaos and structure. And I think that's That's what the golden ratio is. That's what you want to strive for, and it applies here.
Mm-hmm. Daly says, if the audience becomes aware that your story is random, there are no more stakes because anything can happen. Yeah, the most extreme.
Unless it's comedy.
Yeah, and that even does, like even CJ saying the Star Wars trilogy, like, oh, this now? Oh, this now?
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
now
for
we're
sure.
doing this? Okay, whatever.
But like even in
Infinite
comedy,
entertainment.
you have to even in comedy you have to kind of like follow a theme, otherwise people won't really be able to have expectations or know what's going on. Even Xavier Renegade Angel has its own type of joke that it will stick to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Infinite says, something that stuck with me and I started doing it my own work was an interview with Jeff Loeb. He said that he thinks of where the plot should go and then writes the opposite. I think it keeps your story unpredictable and actually leads you down a path of your own discovery. Yeah, that can kind of be that thing we're talking about where you're faking being random.
I can't remember who it was. I think it was Monet or someone, one of the great artists would always like look at every tiny detail. Say if he's painting a tree, he would like look at individual leaves every time he painted one, because he always found that even after like the third leaf, he would just find himself redrawing the same leaf over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
So he would always go back to be able, like you have to take constant steps at every point to get that unpredictability, because your brain just wants to do what it thinks is right. And that sort of sounds a little bit like that.
That's why I struggle drawing grass or fur. You have to make different shapes of the grass, otherwise, it's just a line and then two little tufts every now and then. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Actually, there's like 40 different kinds of grass, or I don't know the number, but like in my backyard, I noticed there's a little patch where the grass is super soft. And I was like, it's super lush and soft. I'm like, I'm not even gonna mow this section. And then it grew up and it bloomed into like hay. Like I'm like, oh, that was hay.
Wow.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Magic. Pear's now a farmer. It's farmer art.
Yeah, my neighbors are annoyed that I have a little patch of, I call it my my safari tundra or whatever.
You would be the kind of person.
The deer love it too. The deer sleep in it. You can see their bodies.
Oh, that's wonderful. Big. Never get rid of it.
I thought this was a small patch. If multiple deer can, you just letting the whole garden grow into
it's like Wonderland in his yard with deer.
I'll take a video of it.
About.
The only thing is if I went in there, I think I'd get ticks because deer sleep in there.
Yeah. How tall is the grass?
Now it's up to like 2 feet. It's getting tall.
Wow.
This whole time, there was the randomness in this.
Yeah.
Is it okay that I'm random, guys? That's fair.
Quiet Red. I've only ever been entertained when used for levity. Piper, in storytelling, maybe in the background if it's visual. Otherwise, it's a distraction. The reader assumes any information you're giving is for a reason. We've kind of talked a little bit about
I found that a lot with my thing because I love just dropping all sorts of symbols and little clues and stuff. So now literally almost every single thing people have asked me, oh, does that mean that, because you drew this thing here, that means that this, and I'm just like, yeah, sure.
Yeah. That's awesome. Tanner says, LOL, so random humor is dated, but random events happening work for a more grounded story. In Good Time, the plot is pretty much random issues showing up again and again, driving the protagonist away from his main goal. That actually is a good answer, and I love Good Time, and it's one I would think of if I think of this type of story. But it's almost like a subgenre that is like, this is a story about randomness, where like, we're saying like, it's hard, you want the theme to be reinforced by the randomness. So like in Good Time, the theme is the randomness, kind of. So it works in that case, and you can't always have it.
That's different from the show, the 70s show Good Times, right?
That's what I'm thinking.
No, yeah, Good Time is a Safdie brothers movie, and it stars what's his face, the guy who was a vampire, and I'm talking about, a glistening vampire guy.
Mads Mikkelsen.
No.
Huh?
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, Robert Pattinson.
Oh,
and he's awesome in it. He's so good in it.
I get them.
I really like Robert Pattinson. I watched a video on him. I think he's a good actor.
Me too.
Yeah,
He's
he
awesome.
can act.
Yeah.
Didn't
Would
he
you
fuck
guys?
Batwoman on set on like the hood of a car?
Did
What
that
do you
happen? If it
I-
did, I blanked it out. I did actually like him as Batman, but I didn't really like the movie.
Not in the film.
Oh, what?
Oh,
Who
they got
knows?
caught
What are you spreading
banging
rumors?
on
Yeah,
set.
yeah, they got caught banging apparently.
Well,
That
when
probably
when
happens
you
on
start
every
being
film set.
your old movie star, you know.
Starting to like this
Yeah.
guy.
Would
Kayla
you
says,
guys?
or go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I was wondering. So would you guys differentiate between random events happening versus unexpected events? Those
Yes.
are different, right? Okay. Because I'm trying to dig a little deeper, and I
Because-
don't even know if I like random events happening. I think unexpected events happening are very good.
Appealing unexpectedness is kind of half expected, but not you go, oh, should have seen it coming. Or,
Yeah, there's
oh,
a
of course.
percentage that it would happen,
Right.
Yeah.
even if
But-
it's low.
It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a lot of these
Maybe I got some examples for you, but it does get into like its own subgenre where randomness is like these are movies about randomness or whatever. But
I mean, maybe the most random thing is like Freddy got fingered, but he's still going on a journey with a goal.
yeah.
Um,
Yes. But okay, real quick, I'm gonna read the rest of these. Kayla, depends on the writer and how it's executed. Many people saying this. I agree. I literally think of this moment as perfect use. Also, how so random can easily take me out of the story and is being overused.
Oh yes,
Randomness
Whedon.
keeps the story spicy when done right. Yeah. Is that a bot? I don't know.
Is that a
I
real
think
person? That
Don't
doesn't.
click on it.
Bots are
Nope.
writing well.
The
But
amount
that's
of
a
It's
good
funny, the
answer.
bots
Actually,
are
the bot had a
being-
good answer.
Yeah, the bots have been responding to me lately with really nice replies and then blocking me. It's weird.
Really?
Yeah,
I
I go
think.
to
Hold
reply
on.
and like I can't
Rejection.
reply. Like, oh, it's a bot, and they were really nice, and now I'm blocked.
They don't want the
I've
I've been
One.
getting the best bots because I've been. I made some tweets asking for commissions, and I had bots being like, "Cool art. Anybody want to hire me instead for a commission for like an AI commission?" I go to their profile. It's like AI art. So in my commission post, they're like, "Hey, hire me."
That's crazy.
Yeah. The
Ugh.
bots.
you know,
Block them all.
a lot of those tweets leaned into the concept of chaos, which I would say is separate to randomness. Even the liar liar, like that ramps up in pressure and tension and becomes chaotic, but it is still kind of like within his realm of desperation, right? He's just gets more desperate and ludicrous. It kind of is still in a similar vein though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, so that's my presentation.
Nah.
Yeah.
That's
No,
it.
Yeah. Just
Oh,
kidding.
very good.
I got a few.
Hey.
Ah, psych.
What in
So
life
random,
is random?
So random.
So whatever. We'll go through these. I don't know. We'll see when they spark. There's a few when we get into examples for sure. There'll be some stuff, but gambling is random. Risk.
Is it Michael? Is gambling random?
Short term, yes. Long term, no. So
Okay.
in every wager you make, there is an equity odds. You know, so like just say you put down $100 on a bet that's gonna lose you, lose you $51 long term. You could win feasibly thousands, tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars in the short term doing that. Long term, it's going to the maths there'll be a bell curve. So that's how you can win in poker, because you actually find yourself in spots where you're in like as high as 99% sometimes. Most of the time you're sitting at around 60 to 70% win.
Mhm.
So as long as you can find those spots, you can win long term and short term. Well, short term is that's the randomness. That's why gambling is so much fun, because on any given day anything can happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, like actually understanding that is really difficult thing for a lot of people to do, which is why most people can't become professional gamblers, because it does, especially at high levels, it becomes really difficult to divorce yourself from, oh, who cares if you lost, tens of thousands of dollars a day. It's all about the long game. You never really up or down. It's all about the thing.
Right. I was watching some like Instagram reels or shorts. They were just came up randomly. This, I don't know, you might know him. He's this young gambler who has like a bunch of face tattoos.
Yeah.
And he's like always talking about it. And he's just being like, you can't look at it as money. It's just units. He's using, and then he was also talking about Baccarat and how Baccarat is one of the best games to gamble.
It used to be a bit like poker, but then they changed it to be more like blackjack. So.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's it does look more like blackjack what he was showing.
The Baccarat that they played in James Bond back in the day was an actual skill game. But now it's just pretty much 50-50. So a lot of big time gamblers like it because they think, like a lot of gamblers do, that what they do and how they track it will affect the outcome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What that makes me think is applied to stories is you could have like a character, if you had random kind of stuff happening that's maybe either good for him or negative. The long game, you would want to balance it out in your own story. Like if they have a run of bad luck, they kind of would need a run of good luck at some point, and that could be
that's that back and forth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's those long character arcs, where it's a real, and you can do really interesting things, which they almost did in Game of Thrones, and then they just dropped the ball with some of those characters. It's like you watch them in season 1, and they're completely irredeemable, and then towards the end, you're totally cheering for them. Like that's what I'm talking about in the long game. Whereas on any given day, I mean, they could be doing who knows what, and you're just like, this is a completely awful person.
Yeah. Yes. And investment kind of similar. Like you could explain it in a way that it's maybe not random, but like we could have a stock market crash tomorrow, and people would be like,
sure.
They probably would put it in the act of God as like another thing on the list. It's like
be jumping out of windows.
We can't explain these things. They just life happens. That's kind of something you'd hear with random too. That it's like randomness is definitely associated with real life, reality, life, truth. I think a little bit. All these things is also relatability. So these are all like a little more positive things. But the weather is very random too. And a story that uses the weather well is Lonesome Dove. I was into Lonesome Dove last year. Did you watch that one, Phil?
Some of it. Yeah, I started watching it, and then it was just on last week. And my girlfriend put it on, and then I saw, what's that guy's name? Danny Glover get a spear through the chest. Spoilers.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
spoilers.
You ruined it.
Yeah.
It was pretty tragic.
Yeah, that part.
And then freaking with that one guy, Gus gets shot in the leg with an arrow, and they got to push it through the thigh instead of pulling it out. It won't come out.
Jesus.
Yeah,
it's rough.
What is the opposite of random? Predictable, assured outcome, logical. Anyone want to add or disagree or anything?
Structured.
This helps us understand a little bit more. What?
Yeah. Planned.
Structured and planned.
Yeah. Planned, structured. Totally. Helps us understand what randomness is by thinking of what's opposite. What is random in a positive context? Multiple possible outcomes, and we have no idea which one it's going to be. Jake, this came up earlier because you're like, you were saying the best is when you have some idea, but you still don't know. And so you have to keep watching. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If you do set up that, it could be multiple outcomes, you should keep like baiting that it's going to be one and then switching to another one. I don't think people would get pissed off about it because they kind of half expect at least one of them to be the true outcome. Like you can keep switching the tracks back and forth.
Yeah. But yeah, for example, here's one example. This kind of is a later slide, but there are stories that where it actually is literally could kind of be anything. And one of them is like fairy tales. Like there's a lot of various examples, but there's like a fairy tale where it's in a kingdom where the older brother inherits everything. So the second oldest brother, he has to go seek his fortune. So he kind of hugs his mom and shakes his brother's hand, and he gets his horse, and he starts, says goodbye, and he walks out into the horizon to seek his fortune.
And does he meet a peculiar character?
Does he what?
Does he then meet a peculiar character?
Well, yeah, you don't know what's going to happen.
But he will probably meet a peculiar character. Like, this is what I'm saying about the semi-predictability of that kind of story, right?
Yeah. I guess that's kind of meta because you're bringing in your own knowledge, and within that story, there's no setup. Like, I'm sure on your journey, here's a map, and there's a weird guy who lives here. You might meet him. There's another guy, blah, blah, blah. They're just like, no, just walk out.
There's some things that I've realized, especially if you're dealing with a well-established genre, people expect it, and they're kind of weirded out if you don't have a story element in your story. And it's either you have to consider, well, what comes first is always, does it serve my story more, right? And that has to trump what the readers will expect of your story just because of genre definitions. But then it's kind of a challenge to convince the readers, yes, this is still a good entry in this genre, even though it's skirting certain expected tropes.
What you've written here reminds me of From, the TV show, which is about to have its 4th season, I think, and no one has any idea what it is, and everyone has their own theory.
Are people still loving it though?
I think so. I mean, I don't know. I like it. I'm looking forward to it, but it could be this.
When
it
they
could
reveal,
be that.
I wonder if people are going to be pissed off that.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like you get to a point where it is so, is it a purgatory? Are they in hell? Is it a science experiment? Is it a simulation? Is it science fiction? Is it paranormal? All these sorts of things. And yeah, inevitably people have this thing built up in their mind, and probably nothing is going to quite match up to it, to what it actually ends up being.
And I'm trying to remember, I've seen some stories recently where it was kind of like that kind of story where it's some weird shit happening, and then they kind of explain it later, and I just really liked the explanation, and that was nice because we're all like, we have trauma because when that happens, you're like, oh god, when they finally explain it, it's going to be so stupid,
right?
And there was a story where it was actually awesome, and
I think premises like that, they work better in films rather than like a series that's going to be stretched out for 9 seasons, because in films you could do stories that have very little context to the events until the ending, and so many films do that. So you could either have that just be like a really good mystery, or you could have it be an outlandish random comedy. Like, if you guys seen the film Dude, Where's My Car? That film is just all random events because they have amnesia during most of it, and then at the end you get the context of what the hell is going on, and that's also, it involves aliens and a Rubik's Cube and a bunch of weird shit, but that feels like it's random but gets wrapped up at the end. You get the context to everything that happened.
Yeah.
This is reminding me of how in Miyazaki's films, especially the very, very symbolic and steeped in mythology ones like Spirited Away, it comes across as very random to the viewers, and especially Western viewers. But most people find them very charming anyways, and they're I think it's, even if you don't, the thing is, in Spirited Away, it seems like there's a lot of random creatures and it's just all fun, goofy creatures, but there is a reason for why every single creature is there. They're all part of Japanese mythology. They all represent something, and all the little rituals, and even her disappearing. She doesn't eat something from the world. That's all part of mythology. So there's a reason to why he's putting those things in the story, even though he's not explaining it. And even devoid of the cultural context, I think the readers feel like there's a purpose to it. And in the end, it's not random. He's just not holding your hand, so it still works.
Yeah.
And
He just
I think
presents the
he does that
world and says, "This is what it is."
Yeah.
I was thinking of that one as a good example of like randomness, but we could say the more open, free style storytelling. But it even has like, I kind of haven't seen it in a while, but I think I remember. I just got distracted by Michael Dishe. $20 for Michael Dishe.
Woo!
Jake, do you have the $20 thing? Random hot take: Netflix films Vatican City, casting Sydney Sweeney as a romantic lead. At the film premiere, Sydney is seen escorted by a mysterious young man called the artist formerly known as Narwhal. Sidwall. Yeah, we can all manifest that. That would be fun.
Sidwall.
Sidwall.
What are you doing after the premiere?
Yeah.
Motorboating?
Yeah. But yeah, so Spirited Away, it's like, it is like not plot. You know, it's like they're like, yeah, you got spirited away. You're gonna be here for a while. She's like, so what should I do? They're like, I don't know. She's like, should I like go on a quest or something? They're like, no. She's like, what should I do? They're like, I don't know. She ends up having to get a job. She like,
so when you hear him talk about it, he says the movie has a purpose, and not just she gets spirited away and does a bunch of random shit and then gets her parents back and leaves. No, there's the whole point is it's a critique of how he thinks young people are too lazy and can't work, can't take responsibility. So he's like, this is a child forced into a situation in a traditional world where she has to confront responsibility and like work to get her parents back. So there is a through line through it. It's just never explained. And when he says it, it all makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, I like it. I think that steps out of the like you must find this enchanted crystal to reach your home to come back. It's like they're like, I don't know, bitch, just you're hungry, right? So you need money. So get some money.
Yeah. Work, bitch.
Yeah.
Flip side, the song American Pie. And for like 50 years, people have been trying to figure out what the hell any of it means. And they ask him, he's like, he never says anything. And everyone's like, oh, it means this, it means that. There's, it's been going on for decades. Maybe he just got high and wrote a bunch of random stuff.
Oh,
you know? And now everyone wants to put meaning onto it. It's like, oh my God, it was such tumultuous times.
It's the same as the Red Dwarf lyrics. It's just a bunch of random stuff.
Yeah.
That's great.
Cool. So that's one thing. Random in a negative context. It was out of the blue. It makes no sense. It was too convenient, which is actually kind of a paradox because you're using randomness as a crutch if that happens. That's like.
Well, yeah, that too convenient goes back to what I was saying. There's no coincidences in stories because people don't accept them. It happens every day in life. Yeah. Everyone has had coincidences, big and small, throughout their whole life. But as soon as it enters a narrative, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, sure, that'd happen."
What if a bank robber is like, if a bird shits on you right now, I won't kill you in the next 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and then a bird shits on him, and he's like, "What? You got really lucky this time."
He should kill him, then the bird shits on him.
Yeah. Actually, you know what movie does that stuff? It's the killer from the Coen Brothers movie. You know what I'm talking about?
No Country for Old Men.
No Country for Old Men.
The air tank guy.
That's the thing. Like the characters like Two-Face rely on chance and coincidence, but obviously you have the creator forcing that into a narrative. But that is a form of randomness, right? For a character.
Yeah. And actually, the long game thing we were talking about earlier, in No Country for Old Men, the killer, he does let at least one guy go because the coin flips in his favor.
Right.
And he doesn't say like, today's your lucky day. He walks off. I don't know.
They should do the whole film where it's just they always get away with the coin flip. The whole film.
And the
Yeah,
guy's just
like
getting
you pulling
increasingly
Gilgamesh
frustrated, like,
cards.
Yes,
I never
yes.
get to kill anyone. Damn it. Stupid coin.
Yeah, he
That-
wants to switch coins with someone, then he switches, but then his coin doesn't work. That's like
Yeah,
a
it's like-
Daffy Duck-
2020.
Yeah.
Let's
Batman
talk
switches
about-
his
Let's
Two-Face
talk about
coin.
the make no sense thing, because for many years before Painted Death, Waking Dream is a bit less plot driven and just kind of like random stuff happening. So everyone was like, I have no idea what the listen is, but it looks cool. And there's a TV show that sort of gets forgotten that I love called Legion, based on the Marvel character, son of Professor X.
Oh yeah.
And that show is the most makes no sense show out of any show ever made. It is just wall to wall randomness and weirdness. But it's still a great show, and I liked it. And I was like, don't complain about the Lucent when Legion is out there getting made. All right, like it's just like this is the most random stuff you'll ever come across, and it's just like it was 4 seasons of that or something.
So even
I
that can
remember that
kind of,
show.
if that's the vibe, that can.
Yeah, it was definitely the vibe. It was definitely, this is what we're doing, because it's
Right.
about a character who is made to believe he's insane, and he's surrounded by other insane people, but then it's not necessarily that, and he kind of goes through it, and it's really spooky too, so it's a good show.
Yeah, he's like a super mutant. He's like
Mhm.
reality manipulation.
Yeah, it's like an Omega level who they make think he's insane, because if he actually realizes he's in control of the actual reality, he'll F stuff up, basically.
Oh, so it's Haruhi, but in X-Men. Got it. Nobody got that reference. I apologize.
Who he?
Never mind. Anime.
But yeah, he is actually insane too. That's true. Or at least he goes insane.
Yeah.
Chris Claremont character.
Randomness and stories. I'll read these real fast. We're gonna travel west and just see what happens. That's like Dawn of the Dead. The zombies take over. They're like, I have a helicopter. We can fit one other person. You got a friend? Okay, I'll go get him. Meet me on the roof, and they just take off. And like that's the story. So at that point too, it's this kind of fun, open part.
Yeah,
of the
there's
story.
so many films like that. Euro Trip. Every road trip movie is like that.
Yeah, like almost most road
Sweetest
trip movies are
Thing,
like that.
A Guy
It's
Thing.
like we know we'll encounter something obviously, but we don't know what. It could be anything.
Yeah.
And that freedom is fun.
Mhm.
We're going to, but so 28 years later, I want to do a little. We can talk about that now. I'll come back to this one because that one.
I got to bounce for like 10-15 minutes. I'll be back.
Cool.
Yeah.
See ya.
We're gonna cross the mountains, kind of similar road trip kind of thing. Gonna go seek my fortune. Mentioned that earlier. I had to break into an apartment to hide. Like that. That's what a good time is like.
I feel like that's something you told us while we were at Heroes Con that you did.
I broke.
You broke into an apartment.
It sounds like something you would say.
No, but that's like, imagine like if you break into an apartment to hide, the apartment is random. Like, so whatever's in the apartment is fun. Like you're in a fun part of creativity and writing and storytelling.
Yeah.
It could be anything, and you could have fun with it. I met the craziest lady on the bus, and she took me to a party. That too is a little funny because that is a step away from what Irene was saying. That's more 6-year-old style. It's and then rather than but or therefore. And that I wouldn't have thought this, and I still don't know how I feel about it, but it's like maybe that is okay a little bit. A little bit of and thens is okay.
That's like Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah, there is some of that with Eyes Wide Shut. Eyes Wide Shut, he walks out, he gets in a fight with his wife, and he goes for a walk. And that's the story. So you're like, okay, he's going
And he goes
for
to a
walk.
party. Yeah.
What's going on here? Yeah.
Well, okay. So these are just like big, wide open possibility spaces of still semi-predictability, right? So, okay, thinking about that. So you can do, let's get really drunk, wake up a week later. Then there's a huge possibility space of what happened that week, that kind of thing.
Right. What's that? What's those? Those movies that
The
makes me-
Hangover movie did that.
Hangover, yeah. Hangover. It's the same thing as Dude, Where's My Car? Yeah.
I've built a device, and if you need to escape, like you just press this button and it'll switch you with anyone else on Earth. Like
Is that Click?
no, that's he rewinds his family. He rewinds his life, right?
That's
his
Click.
life.
Or he fast forwards his
Yeah.
life.
He fast forwards. Then he old and he cry. Then the audience cry.
Well, no, he slow-mo's breasts jogging.
Well, then he fast forwards it, and it gets stuck on fast forward, and he misses his whole life.
Wait, did he ever pause and do one of those Jav time freeze situations?
If I had a remote like that, I'd just pause and draw forever.
So.
We know what the guys would do with the pause button.
Yes, we know.
Get a lot of cleaning done. Yeah, we have the other channel, by the way. There's no link to get to it, so no one could post it. But yes, go subscribe to the other channel.
I tweeted it out.
Oh,
I tweeted it out.
Yeah. Yes. But okay, so 28 years later is kind of a fun movie for especially what we're talking about. Because
yes,
have you seen it?
No. But I'm instantly thinking 28 years. That's a long time. The wider possibility space.
Yeah, it doesn't play
Is
with
it
that
out?
much. But I guess so. But I talked with Wackass a lot about it too. But I like it. But there are things about it I don't like. But especially the first third, I got to tell you guys. So it's like an island, British mainland which is an island, has been totally quarantined, and it's just left to fend for itself. And then there's an island that it's also quarantined off of the mainland that a small like culty town lives at. And the father wakes up his son in the morning and he's like, today's the big day. So it's a rite of passage for the son that, because a big part of the town is like you're gatherers and hunters, you have to go to the mainland. The mainland's dangerous because there's zombies there and shit. And there's a low tide. At low tide, there's a land bridge that you can reach the mainland. And so today's the big day. It's your rite of passage. We're going to go to the mainland. And low tide lasts for 4 hours. So we're going to come back in 4 hours. And the kid's 12. They're like, usually we want to be 14. And the dad's like, no, he's ready. And so they do that. Now this is the first 40 minutes of the movie is the 4 hours like of them on the mainland or whatever.
Yeah.
So this is like very open storytelling, obviously, like the way Jake would say, like, I'm sure they're going to run into some zombies at some point, but you don't know what like the story's going to be. You have no idea. And it's really fun. It's like some of the best stuff. I just loved it. And I wish the whole movie was like that, but I also wonder like if that's a paradox. Like if the whole movie was like that, maybe it wouldn't hold up through the whole movie. I'm not sure.
Well, is it not just you're building suspense because you do have expectations and you're just waiting for them to enter no man's land to see how this presented order goes into chaos? Cross-reference with your expectations from the genre, like even the fairy tale thing. I go off an adventure, I meet whimsical character. Like it's valid that the audience has genre expectations, and it's like the most predictable thing would be to follow those genre predictions by the book rather than putting a twist on it, right? But
like it doesn't. There's kind of a lot of possibilities when you keep it when it's that open. It's even within the genre. There's like 100 possibilities, and then each of those possibilities has variations. Like if they meet a zombie, like that scene could actually be done like 1,000 different ways.
Definitely,
they present the first time a kid meets a zombie. The way they do it is really good in the movie.
But you know what? I think this is kind of honing in on a usable like idea. It's trying to think what is the largest possibility space you could make and still not lose the audience in thinking, oh, this is too lol random. Like that tension of they're gonna meet a zombie. Like people know what zombies. That is strong. Like it's a well-treaded genre, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of gas in that tank to hold people in that tension space.
Yeah, and example of that too is in in mysteries, there can be a point where they go to the detective and like he had a lead but he lost it. They were right in the middle of the movie and they're like, well, what now? Like, how are you gonna catch him? And he's like, I don't know. He's like, I'm actually pissed. I'm gonna go home and like spend some time with my kids. And like that's the movie from then on. And then obviously something's gonna happen to get to reinvigorate the case.
Yeah.
But that's a case where you have absolutely no idea what it's gonna be. There's no like setups or payoffs. There's no hanging thing where the audience is like, wait, you didn't check out that one thing yet. Like he checked out everything. He lost every lead.
Wouldn't the audience expect the kids to like get killed or something? Like that's what the maximum possibility space then. It's like, oh, he's not following the lead. It's going to his family. So this must end up interfering with his family in order to pull him back in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I can think of like a million ways that could go where that doesn't happen still too. So I still think it's like super open. But that is like that would be the example of the most open space, and that even without too much like genre expectations, because it really does feel like it kind of could be anything. But because in that case, because it's in the middle of the story, might help. Like if you did that at the beginning, I don't know if that would work as well or not.
Well, I mean, zombies themselves are a great. You know, I've heard it before. Oh, how do you invent the next zombies? Like zombies, it is one of these. It is that wide open possibility space. Person comes back to life. If they bite them, it goes to someone else. Okay. That is a structure that people immediately get because it's based in the like energy, conservation of energy of life and death that's in horror. And their mind gets ticking, but it's wide open. So you could maybe use this as a way to invent more of those.
Oh yeah, I like we're saying wide open. That's like kind of the idea. Like we can almost replace randomness with like wide open stories.
Anything
not random stories. We're wide open.
But I mean, like, what if the 28 years later thing happened, but it wasn't billed as a zombie film? It was billed as just like a apocalypse film, and you didn't know the possibility of there being zombies was there, and then it happened. You know,
you mean if it was
that'd almost be better in a way, or I don't know.
You mean if it was a new film series or in the?
You say like The Road. Did you see The Road?
Well, it would have to be.
Yeah, because there's no zombies in that one, right?
Right, but there could be.
Yeah. And that would be cool.
And would that make it random?
One more crazy thing with 28 years later, the first 40 minutes they're just so great, and the adventure on the mainland, the kids, his rite of passage, it is awesome, and it's just great. And then they have a party that night because he just finished his party, and he sees his dad cheating on his wife, but his mom is sick and maybe dying, and all this is great. I'm like, this is all just like wide open, we're just like learning, and I just loved it. But then the kid, he hears about that there's a doctor in the mainland from like 15 years ago. So I don't know why it's so old, and he kind of is mad at his dad for cheating on his mom. And then the next morning he confronts his dad about cheating, and his dad punches him. And all this feels actually, especially in hindsight, this all feels forced contrivances of the plot to get the kid to do what the plot needs him to do. So this is where we're switching from wide open to just one thing.
Very narrow
plot. And it's like he takes his mom and they sneak out, and he's going to take her to the doctor that's in the mainland.
But you just said
like, now they're on a quest. Now they have the goal. Now it's like a classic story. And I'm like, it wasn't a classic story before that, and I loved it. And all of a sudden it's like,
well, you literally said it's from 15 years ago. I don't know why it's 15 years. It is exactly 15 years ago, the rumor, to keep the possibility space as wide as it could be. Like, is he still there or is he not? That's 15 years worth of possibilities. Did a whole encampment rise up where that doctor
they don't do
is
anything
to
with
trap
that, though,
people?
Because he sees, when they're on the mainland, they see his fire, and they said he's always this is the problem. It's like, so this is part of this presentation is they get really into the theme, and the theme is like the kid like leaving the masculine father and finding alternate masculine options for fatherhood on his quest into the mainland.
It's about
And-
cucking.
Yeah. And one of the
Great,
masculine...
you're really selling this movie.
I heard
Yeah. Well,
Is
so I mean, when you say this, it's actually like kind of cool. Like if you can structure a movie that way, you're like, that's fun. It has this double meaning that's very like kind of meaningful. But that put shackles on the plot. So all of a sudden the plot had been so open and free, could be anything.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, because it's following this theme, immediately you know everything. He's going to go to the doctor. The doctor's going to be a possibility of a masculine figure, like in one option.
Oh well, that fucking sucks. I was instantly thinking the best case, like
yeah. See, what you were saying is what it should have been, because that's what I was thinking too. Like if like there's rumors of a doctor, but he's in another town and we don't talk to them anymore, and then you're going to go there. You're going to risk it, kid. And
well, yeah. It should be the kid should learn not to be taking the risks or something. Like they get there and maybe there is an encampment that got built up, so he doesn't go in. But he heard other rumors about he could be here, and like he keeps, and the mom's getting more and more sick because of his decision. Like that. Bancroft's back, by the way. There we go.
Oh, speaking of mom.
Hello.
Speaking of what?
Mom.
We don't say mom.
They say
mom.
Me,
We say
ma'am.
mom.
Mom.
Alex Verby has a great term for this plot funnel. That's exactly what it is, and it's at the behest
Plot
of this
funnel.
kind of cool
I
theme
like
idea.
that term.
Yeah,
Right, where everything is put into place for the plot to happen. You're directing the characters. The characters aren't just being themselves.
yeah. So if you have a plot funnel, the solution is to get a little random. Or Bancroft, we were kind of talking like this happens on Creative Block when we get into semantics, but the term wide open is a lot more accepted than randomness, and it means sort of the same way we were talking about, but a way more positive way
Well,
of this idea of wide open plot versus whatever.
it's wide open, but you're still pointed in a general direction. Random is like, I broke into an apartment to escape, and there was a dragon egg in there, and I opened the dragon egg, and it was actually an ET, literally ET. Like
extraterrestrial.
So random is
that's like
a
that cartoon
opponent
you guys
dream.
like, the bird guy.
that's not Xavier
A
Renegade
non
Angel would be-
sequitur.
Yeah, like that would suck. Xavier Renegade Angel isn't even that.
A non sequitur versus a twist. Would that be apt?
What a twist.
Well, I mean, that's why people hate the Marvel humor thing, because it's essentially doing the same thing with tone.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. So real fast, keep reading this a little bit. Randomness and stories. This is from 28 years later. We're going to the mainland today. Your first time, a rite of passage. What are we going to do out there? Just walk around. Low tide lasts 4 hours, so we have to be back by then. Are we going on a quest or anything, or like avenging anyone? Are we tracking a killer? No, dude, we're just gonna go and check it out. Like, shut up. Like that's like
It
openness.
seems like those 40 minutes could have been used to set up a lot, and it was just wasted.
They
what
set
the
up,
movie is?
some stuff. Like you find out they have a party after is blah blah blah. It's all just as you see it. They have a little defense system that you see them use. It's all fun.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna watch it.
I like that
I haven't
setup.
seen any of them, so
Me neither.
I don't feel like
Yeah.
I'm missing out on.
I don't
much.
think you have to. They're not. I don't think it's like the whatever the.
He says eventually you have to zoom
I like
into a
the
tellable,
first one.
definite story. You can still have open possibilities on that narrower path. See, maybe that's true. That's what I'm more curious about. Is if 28 years later could have, if it was just all like that, open storytelling, no plot coming in. I'd be curious.
Have you ever read American Gods by Gaiman?
Yes.
Mm.
No.
That one's a bit just like we're just going on a trip sort of thing. And
Yeah, they do a
I
road
guess
trip.
yeah, I guess because the guy is a god, it's like interesting.
Yeah.
But other than that, there's no real purpose or anything. It's just this is happening.
Yeah. See, I like that.
Is it
I don't know.
good then? I mean, it's well.
I enjoyed
known.
it. Yeah, I
it's
think
good.
people like it, and they made a TV show or something out
Very
of it, so it must have
renowned.
some mass appeal. But I never went back to reread it or anything, and I don't really remember. But I just remember thinking, okay, this is just like a like a road trip movie.
Yeah, it is. This is the other thing kind of coming up from this presentation is like it's almost its own genre. So if you're gonna do one of these wide open, quote unquote, random stories, road trips. There's plenty of them that work. Zombies are one of them. Zombies, road trips, post-apocalyptic, where it can be these open possibilities.
Do you,
and then yeah, it's not one of these other types.
Michael? Do you remember how the main character's girlfriend dies in American Gods?
No.
It's so she's cheating on him with his best friend, and they are driving and getting busy, and they get into a car accident, and she dies. Yeah, Moromi knows.
So is it just a completely random car accident?
Yeah.
You see, that's what I'm saying. Like, you generally can't pull that off in stories because people don't like it. It's not satisfying.
It's for the gag, and then I'm pretty sure just like everybody in his life just ends up dying, and then the gods come in, and Odin takes him on the road trip.
Yeah, that is, I don't know, annoying. Whatever. Okay, so this one, I'm gonna go seek my fortune. See you later. Are you questing for something? No, I'm just leaving the comforts of home. But I'm sure you'll quickly find yourself an important quest with strong motivation and stakes and dedicate yourself to that, right? Honestly, I just want to leave the comforts of home and see what's out there. But you'll encounter your shadow. You'll grow and learn, won't you? Hey, I'm just trying to go on a little adventure. Leave me alone, dude.
You're writing the next Connell side quest story. This is the setup for that episode when nothing happens. And the audience is pissed off by page 30.
Yeah. But see,
that was sort of the Seinfeld premise, wasn't it? Nothing happens, but then everything always ends up happening anyway.
No,
so neurotic.
They said you can do anything, but to make that appealing, just start build in connectivity. As long as things start connecting
when
to
they
each
figured
other.
that out, it was awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. Can theme be random? Is theme at odds with randomness? This is the one we were kind of talking about earlier, so we can go kind of fast over it, but it's like the theme in 28 Years Later created the plot funnel that was like ruining it. So in that case, like a little randomness, openness could have
what is the theme in 28 Days Later? Is there
it ends up being that the kid like leaves his father to kind of seek a new father on the mainland, a new masculine.
Right. The patriarchy gets cucked.
Parenthood and
and all the
because life doesn't have themes, and life is not random, but random things happen in life all the time, and it's not like your life doesn't have a theme to it. That's a purely narrative.
I think our mental illnesses are the theme of our life.
Well, people try to give their life meaning, and that's what the theme is. It's it's what does the story mean? So that's an interesting little point there. And there's a reason why we tell stories, and the reason why we like writing them and we like reading them, and there's all sorts of different reasons. But it's not the same reason that you live life. I mean, we're all born. We don't ask to be born, and we all have to come with our own reasons to live.
Live for me,
like a theme. I remember it. I think this maybe comes a little later, but I remember liking them when they can sometimes feel like a North Star that helps you know what's going to happen, but that can be a negative just a little bit. That can be shackles.
If you notice yourself as a writer writing for the theme or trying to inject theme into the the actual business of writing, then you're skirting like, what are you doing here? What are you writing a story, or are you
and that'll be kind of on the nose a lot of times. People will feel it right away.
It should just come out as a sort of a meta understanding, but that it's sort of a like, what is consciousness? It is the what happens with the brain. Like, you don't actually like have to get into it and create it. It just is.
Conclusion, randomness, points in the story where narrative drive ceases to rely on chain reaction, but therefore and instead becomes a roll of the dice, can be super relatable and addicting if utilized and amplified or applied efficiently. Stories with randomness have more of a feeling like they actually happened. Whereas theme can provide a guiding North Star for your plot, randomness throws all that out and laughs at it. Theme can provide shackles for your story, so randomness is a useful tool to break out of it, and a new backloaded theme can still emerge, which we were just kind of talking about a little bit. And that would be a scenario where it's almost best of both worlds. And maybe this does kind of only apply to kind of the subgenre of the open stories.
Like just say your theme is love conquers all, and then you have like just some random whatever come in and just completely destroy this loving family or couple or something. Or like something that was built with love, and then it's just completely toppled because of whatever, which is kind of what Galactus is. Actually, Galactus is randomness. He just comes out of space to each a planet, and it doesn't matter what you've done.
You know what it's like? It's like F your story, F your plan.
F your billions of untold stories, stories that have been told and untold stories to come. I'm hungry. I want some lunch.
Yeah.
But even then the theme becomes like coping in the face of reality's futility. Right? It's like my wife and family died in a car crash. It's like, okay, now that person has to put their life back together and learn to cope with it.
Does a single story have multiple themes, or is it just one?
Oh
no, sure. It has I would say they have a mix.
Well, and even for this example, so say your love conquers all theme, it's like you feel shackles on your story, so you have Galactus come in and murder everyone or whatever. And then you're like, okay, so now it's about coping with tragedy. And then you're like, well,
story.
A little bit too much of that, so I need something happy to happen.
Yeah, you'd need the 30, 60, 10 of those things, though.
Yeah.
It couldn't be 50-50 down the middle.
I don't know if you guys have these here, but we had these in the 80s and early 90s in Australia. We have this government body called the TAC, Traffic Accident Commission, or whatever. And they would make these short movies. Originally, they were like 10, 15-minute movies. And it was just like usually young people out having fun, partying, whatever. And it'd be like watching a little soap opera, but very well written, very engaging, and you get really attached. And then all of a sudden, bang, they just get hit by a car, and it was super graphic. And they're like screaming for their lives, and their blood gushing out.
That's effective.
Yeah, it would go from this really cool, fun thing to just like, awful. And then you start to get you start to understand more what they are. So then you're watching them all have fun, and you're just sitting there with dread, and you don't know what's about to happen. And eventually they cut them down into little ads that they would play on television all the time. And it was the only time I've ever seen like proper, absolute 100% subversion where they pull off the happy fun and then the sudden random tragic accident.
They had those over here when I was a kid. They play them on TV too. I would fucking love them.
They were so realistic. They're stuck in everyone's brains. Like I can still remember all the lines from them. Like this is the one where the woman, she hears the accident because it was about how most accidents happen close to home.
Yeah.
And she heard it from the house and she runs out and she sees it's her son. And she's just like, ah, she's running up. She's screaming, "My boy, give me back my boy!" He's like, he's on the road, dead in her arms, and that stuck with me so hard. And people actually thought they were real. They were so realistically made.
One of them, it's with the seatbelts thing. Like, these teenagers are like having a lot of fun, and they get in a car crash, and it's like everyone had their seatbelt on, but a guy in the back didn't, and he has blood on his face, and it's like he's okay, but then the person he was in front of him, he fucking headbutted him to death, and Yeah. And it's like that is stuck in me every time when people are like, I don't need to put my seatbelt on. I'm in the back. I'm like, no. You're gonna kill that guy. You put your seatbelt on.
Those sound like
You'll
effective
become
ads.
the missile.
Yes.
Mm.
I kind of feel like that might have influenced Connell a little bit.
I'm
I
telling you,
can't
these
get more.
PhD
Enough of
ads
this
stuck
gore.
with me.
They were very
That's all it takes
entertaining,
is
though.
good artists to create good propaganda. You change kids' lives.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll tell you, I always put my seatbelt on.
Yes.
They would
tell other people to as well.
Over here in high school, they would show that to the kids before like homecoming or prom, you know, when the kids would party and go to dances and stuff. And then it must have been homecoming. In addition to those films, they had like some company that would bring a wrecked, mangled car and park it in the parking lot of the high school and have like the tape around it and stuff, just to be like a scarecrow for all of us not to drive.
Oh, that's
Did they ever bring out like a guy who's in a wheelchair now?
No. I don't think
we
so.
got a lot of that.
Imagine
like
being
the guy
that
actually
guy.
comes to school and he was like,
Right.
yeah, I wasn't wearing a seatbelt and you know, and now I'm a paraplegic and
little do we know he's probably
Oh.
born that way. He just didn't have he has a gimp leg from birth, and that's how he gets money. He's never driven a car in his life.
Like he's there and he's saying, but now I have a career. So if you guys want to be paid to go school to school, just get in a car accident.
That was the thing.
Someone in class was just like, "How do I get your job?"
That was the irony. The people that would do it would be usually really like cool people who were like, "Yeah, I'm happy. I'm in the freaking Paralympic basketball team. I'm doing all this and everything."
That's shaping
it's
my
like,
life.
you know, they're not going to bring like some guys like,
in Taiwan, so people don't own cars like here, but when you get your scooter license, and I mean he's like, haha, scooters, baby bikes, but I mean they're very dangerous when you're weaving in and out of cars, and they're very deadly. So before you can get your license, you pass all the tests, and then they sit you down and show you like 30 minutes of just dash cam footage of cars hitting scooters and people going flying. And it's like it's just people flying and like spinning in the air. I remember when I can't forget it, the car hits the scooter and the guy is ejected straight up and just helicopters in the air above the car and then slams down on the car. I didn't even understand how the physics work, but that's you drive very carefully after seeing that.
Yeah, when
but
someone goes
it's
to
not
work,
it's not as good as the ads you guys mentioned.
when you get a job in a factory, they should show you all those like China people getting mangled in machinery videos.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Yeah, so the last slide is this Mark Twain quote I found. He says, "Truth is stranger than fiction, but it is because fiction is obliged to stick to possibilities. Truth isn't."
Obliged? What?
Obliged.
Have we
obliged?
Obliged.
Just read the quote, Jake. It's on the screen.
No. Pass said obliged.
Obliged? Yeah,
Pass
you
it
said
ob-
it funny.
He meant obliged.
He said obliged.
I hear the same thing. Everything you guys are saying sounds the same to me. All right.
It's the same.
It's the epitome of a linguistic cock-up.
That's pretty much what we've been saying this whole time. In reality, like, especially if you think about in science and everything, no one would write it what the things they're discovering because it's so crazy and out there.
Yeah.
But also, just random things happen, like the worst, most horrific things in the world that you would never even want to read about happen in reality. And then when, sometimes really good things happen, it's kind of boring because it's like, oh, a guy won $300 million. That's not a story. That like there's no story in that unless you can, I don't know,
There's no problem.
Millionaire or something.
There's no problem to solve. Like he wins money, then becomes depressed, and the family falls apart. Okay, great.
What if he just wins money? Like that was I watched a thing on it. A guy, I won $50 million. I have like 500,000 left. They've been the best 20 years of my life. I regret nothing. You know?
Yeah.
That sounds
I want to
awesome.
be that person.
Exactly. So it's like, but it's not a good story.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a good sentence.
Yeah. So I love that quote, but I love Mark Twain. He's great. I liked him in Star Trek.
And I wonder if Mark Twain meant this as like a little mini dig on his contemporaries as fiction being lame, and you can write fiction that aims at a higher truth and you're being more random a little bit here and there or something.
Very, very good. Yeah, because fiction was seen as baby literature until, well, very recently, right? Even in the 80s. It's like serious
Twain
adults.
He was a big satirist, so yeah, and he would
Mark
constantly be sticking the knife in and twisting it around everywhere he went. So
he's okay. I'm more of a Samuel Clemens fan myself.
You liked him better?
Yeah.
His brother?
Conflict always requires for a story to be interesting. But you know, I was thinking about the 28 years later opening. It's like, I think that is a little bit like man versus nature. What they were saying, you can structure it that way or whatever, the conflict. So yeah, like man versus nature is kind of a simple one. It's almost like a cop out if you don't want like, I have a problem to solve, like, because that's like the kid. If the kid is like, well, what are we gonna do? We're gonna solve a problem out there. The dad's like, no, we're literally going out there and we're gonna walk around for 4 hours. Then we're gonna come back. So shut your mouth, kid. You'll be a man in no time. And versus
the movie sounds like it sucks.
Yeah, I'm not very excited to watch it now.
If you're gonna funnel the audience, funnel them gently. It seems like it hits a massive railroad bottleneck.
Fondle them. That's what I say.
Yeah.
It sounds like they could have set up more. It's like, yeah, sure, they set up some things, but it probably not enough. Like what? I mean, I didn't watch it, but does it feel like the whole, well, the doctor is on the mainland and the father, there's tension between the father, he's angry at the father. If that was established right away, it wouldn't be so led on. It could be more naturally. There's a natural pull for the kid to want to go off on his own from the beginning.
Yeah.
Someone could have killed the doctor and taken his place, and then people come to him and he just does experiments on them and they turn him into zombies, and the kid's
he's not the real doctor.
He's not the real doctor, and he takes away the mother, and he's like, she's gonna be okay. And then he finds all the experiments. He's like, no, and then he's gonna break the mom out. That'd be way better.
You gotta mess the mind, sir.
Yeah,
I hear he's got a blow dart gun.
Yeah.
Blow dart.
Yeah, you know what? Spoilers, but when the kid takes him to the doctor is like, yeah, I can't cure her, but I can do euthanasia on her if you want.
Oh,
that
sounds about right.
No.
It's my, euthanasia is my least favorite kind of youth.
Yeah.
What's your favorite kind of youth, Phil?
I mean, I'm from Chicago, you know.
Huh?
He likes being
urban youth.
Oh.
I gotta run and get a snack.
Just listening to you talk about
have fun.
That movie.
What just happened?
A snack, so you just played this video over us.
Happy 4th of July. This is probably going to be the video.
Happy 4th of July. 30 minutes in.
Hopefully it's not on loop. That's what I'm hoping.
Oh no, he ended it.
Okay,
I was thinking of this show. It's new on Netflix called Department Q, and it's like a crime mystery thriller TV show. It's really good. But it's like the exact opposite of just the meandering whatever. It's got more working parts. It's like a freaking Swiss watch. And I was watching it just thinking, how on earth do you even write something like this? I'm talking hundreds of like working parts because it's a mystery and they're investigating. And then there's about 5 or 6 characters, and each of them have their own subplots connected to each other, and somehow it's still all working and going along. And by the end of it's like, gee, like it feels like you would need teams and teams of people just to freaking sort it all out into some kind of cohesive story. But it was actually really entertaining, and I'm not usually big on the crime stuff, but the characters are really good, so I recommend it. Department Q. It's a good thing. Good show.
Cool.
I feel like you could pull that off if you just write a story outright, then just go over it again, add a bit more connectivity over it.
Is that how you do it? You got to kind of write from the end too, I imagine.
Yeah,
and go backwards,
like,
because you need all the clues. Yeah.
I mean, there are even story writing tools. Like Phil has his World Forge and the thing where you could set up like a node system for how things are connected to.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
Like freaking each node was connected to 20 other nodes that connected to 20 other nodes. And it was just going off like this crazy branch. And it's definitely a show you kind of had to pay attention to, because it just moves at this crazy fast pace. You know, and I was just blown away by how many subplots there were with different characters interacting with each other, and it all still working. It's kind of like a Sherlock Holmes type story. The way that it holds your attention through all this is the main character is very interesting and sort of, you know, unique. So like that's how they made it interesting and pulled it off. I think the actual story itself was very, because it's a British show, it was a very British cop kind of crime show, you know, where it's like someone got murdered and we have to figure it out, sort of thing.
I love taking that approach to building worlds, to be honest. These characters are connected in this way. These know each other from this thing, but then like it eventually comes up and you hint towards it. Like somehow all of these characters from all across the world in every culture happen to know each other from college. Like everyone's linked somehow. I kind of like doing that. I think it's how you make your world feel more Springfield-y.
Is that a thing to do? We're going to make this feel more Springfield-y. But no, Springfield didn't feel like Springfield until we'd already had seasons of, you know, stories on different characters.
I think having characters,
Seinfeld made of...
characters being connected and it not being, there must be a delay. Yeah, sorry. That's stuff happening off screen, right? So story elements and connections happening off screen makes the world feel more believable. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
And it's the same as I think a couple ways that are helpful for making your world feel believable, and that's what I'm trying to do is there's a little bit of that where you reveal characters and there's more to their backstory together that you don't know until you keep reading, and then it's slowly revealed. So there's that. So don't show everything all at once, but having characters return later on in the story, so your side characters aren't just one and done. They'll come back, and they progressed in life between their appearances. That also creates a, as Jake says, Springfield-y feel.
I like the term lived in, because when you start from scratch, you are kind of building it up out of nothing. And there are templates. I mean, we all know what a village is from the kind of olden times or whatever. So you can kind of go with that. But especially, you know, if you're the artist too, it's always a struggle to create that lived in look, which usually just means adding in more details, which usually are kind of random. I mean, you do accumulate things throughout life, and you sort of surround. Not very many people live in completely, you know, clinically sterile houses that look like most people have stuff everywhere, and so that's what you have to create as an artist in the world sometimes. on top of with the story as well, the actual world to feel lived in. It's just full of random things like, oh, that pillar has a gouge out of it for where there was an, two guys were fighting with axes, 3 years ago and stuff like that. It's like, all this sort of randomness does create that lived in feel.
Yeah, and is very much random as well, and that gives texture to the world. And that's texture, and it shows time. There has been time that we have not seen.
Patina. Do you know what movie did that the best? Blade Runner. Like the opening scenes in Blade Runner just feel so real, even though some of the kind of more visual effects of it are like a little dated. The actual practical effects of it are just
grimy,
insane.
Yeah.
Like even more than Lord of the Rings, which was amazing. They did amazing, but it's like how much can you do? They built actual villages. I mean, the only way you could make it more is if you have people live in that village for 100 years and really get it.
Yeah, it's funny. It wasn't it the case that in Blade Runner they made it so dark and grimy because it was hard to make things. There was no CGI. It was all practical models. So to hide anything that wasn't completely realistic in the models and make it dark and grimy, but that ended up making it more believable because they left more to the imagination as well.
Yeah, I'm sure that was
high contrast. Although it was weird. It is a little unsettling in movies like that where you just feel like, hey, turn on a light, can you? Why are you sitting in the dark so much? With this noir lighting comes streaming in through the blinds,
Well, that's the key to environment art is treat your environments like a character and think about what your environments have been through. So all the wear and tear on a house are like wear and tear and wrinkles and scars on a person. And well, maybe if a child lives there, maybe they left stickers on the door. If this house is in an area that had been through war and it got repaired after being burned down, so on and so forth. And all the decorations and vegetation can help tell the story of that environment. And that's a lot of fun. And learning to have fun with that is how you can take the boredom after drawing environments, because I know a lot of people think it's boring to draw environments, but it's not.
Here you go. Antoine Dennison. God bless him. Haven't seen him around the chat much. He says he does still watch. He left a comment on one of my streams. I think it was the launch stream for Fractured Mind. And he said, I gotta pull out a copy here. Oh, there's one. He said, oh, Ella is dressed up as V for Vendetta in Fractured Mind. I said, everyone says she's Carmen Sandiego. But if you look, where is it? Gotta get to her in a bedroom here. Where the hell is it?
It's actually She Agent.
Exactly. It's a mix between She Agent and V for Vendetta. Where the hell is it? That's here. Yeah, look. You won't be able to see it because Pear can't.
I thought it was weird that you gave her a goatee.
She's got a V for Vendetta like cut out. You know that one you would find at like a cinema or an old video store.
With the Harry Potter
in
stuff.
her bedroom behind her.
Like a life-size cutout?
A life-size cutout, and she's put a Harry Potter Gryffindor scarf around his neck.
What a
I would just scare the shit out of her when she wakes up at night.
That is true.
Why would you put that there?
She does not get laid.
So would Ella be one of those Disney adults that wants to go to Harry Potter Land and would film all the TikToks of it if you advanced the year ahead?
I don't think she'd film TikToks, but I would imagine,
She drinks the butterbeer?
She feels like a Harry Potter fan. There might be a little bit of self-insert going on there.
Oh my goodness.
Damon, please take me to Harry Potter Land. Please, can we?
That's kind of endearing.
Why does she not have dreams in her fandoms then if she's really into them?
Who has dreams
Well,
in
she
their
does.
fandoms?
She's dreaming of herself as V for Vendetta.
Oh,
Wow. Yeah,
there
that's
you
cool.
go.
But it's kind of like a feminine version of it, you know.
Why can't she dream about her in Simpsons?
Why does everyone like what I like?
Yeah. Why doesn't she dream about Bender?
Yeah.
Why doesn't your character like what I want?
Guess where we're going today, Ella? We're in Five Nights at Freddy's dream. Like, oh
yeah,
god.
you know, I wonder where the like licensing or copyright line is on stuff like that, because like obviously that's an Easter egg in your book, but in the Dark Tower novels, Stephen King literally says there's like a gang of tribesmen that runs around and kidnaps kids in the Wolves of the Kala book, and he describes them as wearing green cloaks with steel metal faces and metal hands. And then, you know, a few chapters later, he literally, one of the characters is like, why do these guys look all like Doctor Doom from Marvel Comics? Like,
I mean,
he puts it in there.
So it's a lot more generous than you think. Like, that's just a very generic description. Nothing wrong about that.
Yeah.
Then when it comes to character stuff, it's the specific design. Like, you can literally just put an extra ear. It's why there's so much.
But this is a novel, and he said Doctor Doom, and he says Marvel Comics.
The fact that he's giving credit is probably making it okay.
Another reference he does is they throw these golden winged balls that explode, and they call them snitches.
Wow.
I genuinely don't think there's anything. It's so generous. People, it's funny because people in comics are like uniquely scared of copyright.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's, you know, such a long history of fighting art and everything. There's also like, oh, you got to say like, you know, if it even vaguely randomly looks like someone else's art, you know, you got to say it's after such and such. And then people say to me, oh, look, this is a complete ripoff of that cover. I'm like,
it doesn't matter.
You look at it, it's just a generic pose.
I think legally it might not matter, but in comics, people get up in arms about it. Yeah. So that's why people are so careful.
I drew the butler in Painted Death, the kind of guy who opens the door at the mansion. And I was just drawing like what I was imagining. I was like, oh, this guy looks like Hannibal Lecter. So I had Damon call him Hannibal Lecter in the comic afterwards, just because that's what I thought he was. That was after I drew him.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, that's funny, you know, give a little.
Yeah, it would be interesting to know all that stuff, because it seems like describing the idea or writing the words, you could reference things, but images, either it is more actionable or just super frowned upon because of like you were saying, like art and artists and rights that way.
I don't think it should be controlled in any way. I think anyone has the God-given right to stop you drawing or writing something.
Yeah.
I don't think it's
to use the power of the government to actually force you to not just make a piece of art. It seems fucked up.
I don't think it's I don't think it's even legally controlled. I think it's just people. It's just people getting worked up about it, so people avoid doing.
Yeah, and characters and names. It's very iffy. What is more ironclad are trademarks and you know, registered brands and stuff like that. So that's where it's like there are a million Superman clones just in slightly different you know, outfits, but they're basically essentially Superman, you know, except not in name and color.
Like obviously companies have the ability to bully you using money. Like it's not even if it's legally sound. It's like, can they take you to court and tire you out? And are they gonna, you know,
Well, some comic companies and there are companies in entertainment that have been known to do that, and some comic companies have. I know Sean Gordon Murphy did like a sketchbook of X-Men characters, and Marvel tried to get money from him because of it. So he doesn't apparently draw those characters anymore.
Yeah.
Out of spite. Might be wrong, but that's what I heard. So it does happen.
Yeah, I wonder if like Stephen King put Doctor Doom drawing on the cover of his Dark Tower book, if there would be like, oh, you're using one of our characters to sell and make money off of this, you know, as like a marketing thing.
If they
obviously be more visible, right?
Like they would probably be able to fight him over it, but like change the color, change the design a bit.
Sure.
It would I would assume it would be fine.
It might be you just don't want to go up against a giant corporation legally.
Take a movie like Ready Player One. How the hell did they make that? That's thousands of licensed characters.
Yeah, I'm sure they paid them all.
Well, like, that would have cost $100 million, maybe. Right. I don't know how much it cost, but that's
another thing. Lot. That's a book, and a book that referenced other media a bunch. Like that was the premise.
Well, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't have to do anything to make the book, write whatever you want. Make the film. There's only like 3 companies who own all those characters, and they're all friends with each other. It's just the modern day version of Roger Rabbit, Ready Player One.
Yeah.
And now they make a sequel? Is there a series of that books? Because I really like that movie. I want to see if there's
Ready Player One. There's Ready Player Two, Ready Player 3.
No, I think there might be 3 of them. Let me see.
You could take character names. You could even take the character names of one of my Hollow buddies and use them as one of the characters in your comic, and nothing I could do about it.
Ready Player One did the Hermione thing. Where the girl is like, he meets her in real life. He's like, I'm hideous,
Oh God, yeah.
It's like, look, I have this slight discoloration on my face.
Yeah,
you're never gonna want to be with me. And you're like, what? He lives in a dystopia in a trailer with his mother.
Yeah.
You think he's not gonna want to be with you because you have a slight discoloration on your face?
They did do a sequel. Only 5 years ago, and it's called Ready Player 2.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. Not random. Predictable.
It was like Hermione walks down the stairs in the Harry Potter movie, and it's like, oh my God,
she looks the same.
What? She's beautiful. What? Like,
to be fair, they couldn't have predicted that she'd grow up to actually just look good all the time.
That's true. That is true.
In the book, she's supposed to be really
when they made the first movie, they probably didn't know that was like the direction.
They should have put it in a contract that if you grow up to be not ugly, we have the legal right to disfigure you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing about Hermione is she has huge buck teeth, but she changes them. I think in the 4th or 5th book, she starts to get good enough, and she cosmetically reduces their size.
Okay, look, you're in Harry Potter land.
Fake.
Do you use magic to change the size of something, gentlemen?
This isn't one of your streams. I saw the poll on your stream this week.
Pool cue versus Coke can. No one wants a pool cue.
Deplorable.
Hedgehog all the way, which is what Thingy is called. What is his name?
Yes, she is a cheat. Hermione was a ginger. Was
no soul.
Was she?
Was yes, in the book she was a ginger, supposed to be.
Many gingers.
Wait, was she? I don't want
to. No, I don't think she was.
No, she had brownish hair.
She's just a brown head. She's supposed to be very plain and actually, I wouldn't say unattractive, but she had the big buck teeth, so it was sort of, a bit of an eyesore for at least 4 years.
She was like Asian?
I mean, they were kids then at that point.
What? No.
Chinese?
No, she's not Asian.
No, that's Chang.
Oh,
Ryan
I thought you
Cho
meant the
Chang.
buck teeth thing.
Can you guess the ethnicity of that character?
Ching Chong. What a weird name for a
Chang
character.
Chow.
Yeah.
What?
Those are all actual Chinese names.
I know. Everyone was getting on railing for that. And she's like, it's the like fourth, most common name or something. And
I know,
Cho
I
Chang,
don't
not
think-
Chang Chow,
Cho
you're right,
Chang?
Cho Chang.
I don't
Okay.
think she did like
I
deep
got it
research on it because she has characters named like Goldstein and shit. But it is a real name, and I'm sure she at least made sure it was a real name.
In Hollow Fist, there's
sound
two
like her.
really fat Asian guys, and they're twins, and one of them's called Cho, and one of them's called D.
Chody.
No, Cho.
Ah,
Oh, just D.
Yeah.
Showed.
Yeah.
You know how like a lot of
Very
Chinese will pick a more Western name because we can never pronounce their name. We
Yes.
had a sisters come to our school. This was back in the 80s. I shit you not. And for whatever reason, and they do this all the time, the parents decided that their Anglo names would be Ping and Pong. So Ping Pong. But and that's funny. But I've worked with, because we work with people in China for manufacturing stuff with my day job. I've worked with Hamburger. I've worked with Vision.
no.
Back when he was popular in the MCU.
Vision?
Vision. It's like,
Irene.
just get
No,
in touch
they
with
will just
Vision. He'll
use
help you out.
random English words that they like.
Isn't
and
it the
call
case?
themselves that?
Isn't it
That's
the
cool.
case that at some point in school, back where you're from, everyone is told to choose their name, and some people choose like Water Dragon and like Mystic Force or something?
Oh
in
no no
China?
no! That was I was talking about a friend of mine who is American-born Taiwanese, and so she got to choose her Chinese name, and she chose this really edgy teenager name. Now she's stuck with it.
The Dark Moon, Death Blade.
Yeah,
but in
Dark
Chinese.
Moon,
Dark-
Blood Blade.
Darkness Rising.
Yeah, bad idea. No, in Taiwan, you kind of just get assigned an English name in kindergarten by your teacher.
Yeah, some of them were really funny. Like they were kind of archaic. One guy was Roy. Like, Roy. I don't think I've ever known a Roy before. That feels
Roy.
like 1930s Americana.
Royston
Yeah.
is a very British. There's still
Royston.
Roystons. Roy is short for Royston.
I did not know that. That is so
That
great.
sounds like a kid who is at a boarding school who plays rugby.
Yeah.
Royston is on the rugby team.
Yes.
He has holidays in Somerset.
I knew this one kid I went to high school with. His name was Eldwin. And is that a real? I assume that's a real name because it sounds to me like some old British.
All the old Anglo-Saxon names are fantastic.
Yeah, I was very surprised because most people just have really basic Anglo names like
Sounds
Will, Mike.
medieval.
Wait, isn't Aldwin literally a fucking Lucent character name?
That's Alwyn.
Oh, Alwyn. Oh,
Alwyn.
World of difference.
I know
Is
Alwyn
an
as
actual, which is an actual Anglo-Saxon name as well.
There is a character that will eventually come up in Connell called Halloween, but she's female.
Halloween.
Wait, it sounds like Halloween.
Pear.
Oh,
Yeah.
you just realized.
What
I
are you
think
guys
he's
talking
muted. You muted?
about? No,
He's just not paying attention.
I'm just lurking.
Put that mic in your mouth.
What are you guys talking about? Superman?
Randomness.
Names.
What'd you think
Second
of that
half.
presentation?
I thought
Great.
your presentation was great. It was a great 4th of July presentation.
Mm-hmm.
Did you learn something, kid?
Yeah,
so
I think there needs to be a balance.
I still want to engineer one of these possibility spaces and then actually figure out the new zombies. Because it's like, okay, alien, you kill someone, but turns out they were an alien, they shapeshift back, possibility space, who is an alien now?
Yeah, they do that.
That's the scrolls. That's the whole.
Body snatchers.
That's the whole thing about Secret Invasion, the Marvel scrolls.
We can use this code. We can crack the code and invent it. It's like Catalyst and the space for the catalyst. Like everyone has to go do their driving test again. Oh no, people are driving crazy all over the road.
Zombie drivers.
Well,
They're all zombies.
They're all zombies.
Drivers.
Zombies are overdone. I'm over them.
In Futurama,
I'm back
gets...
into zombies.
Did you ever read The Passage, Phil?
No.
It's a super long series. Each book is like 1,000 pages,
Oh,
and you're it's really, the first few are really good, and it's like a zombie apocalypse, but they're half zombie, half vampires, and they come from like a pandemic, like a virus.
Yeah.
And there's like the head. There's, I think there were. It's sort of like V for Vendetta. They were experimented on. So there's the whatever the head vampire, whatever the origin, patient 0, but there's 7 of them or something, and they each have their own following, and they're just taking over the world, and there's this tiny pocket of resistance left. It was good for a while.
It's like Underworld, Resident Evil mixed.
It's a bit, well, it goes far into the future. So like you're reading it, and then all of a sudden it's like 100 years in the future, and everyone you just knew, they were back in history now, and you got to deal with their kids now or their grandkids. They tried, I think they made a TV show of it, and it had nothing to do with the book, so I didn't watch it. It's not incredibly generic TC. It's actually pretty groundbreaking the way the book is written, and very well written too. It's not generic at all. But they made a very generic TV show about it, from what I hear. And I was like, oh my God.
DC's got a good idea.
Dummy Mummy Apocalypse. So the mummies come out of the pyramids, and they're also dominatrixes, and if you give in to them, you also become a dummy mummy. So you have to endure.
There goes the world.
The ancient Egyptians and Romans were very sexually free compared to our society. Like, we wouldn't even, like, super hedonistic.
Really?
Their cousins got nuked, right?
What's that?
Sodom and Gomorrah.
That's why they got nuked.
Well, I think that's a bit before that, but at least I know the Egyptians and the Romans, it was very different. So...
I didn't know about that. The Egyptians. Jake's always talking about how the Ankh is like some gooning device.
It is. It's for channeling sexual energies and looping it back. There's a whole document on it. I need to find it. I was reading it one day. There's a whole system. You put it in a certain place on your body whilst having sex, and then when you orgasm, you move it to like the lower part of your back. It's a little chakra.
We're learning so much today. Well, the Romans were definitely hedonistic as fuck.
The pyramids were the giant sexually powered space laser that shot Mars because Mars was getting too big for.
Okay. This isn't carnal. This is Egypt.
What do you guys think
they
of
were
the
free.
Superman movie?
No one can hear you, Bear.
Absolutely loved it. Loved every second of it, and can remember every word of the film verbatim.
Use the
mic.
mic.
What movie?
I'm excited for the Superman film because Metamorpho's in it.
Everyone says, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, me too. I'm excited. I think it's gonna be good. You know, the kid who plays Superman, he has a deep voice. That kind of helps.
I don't think he's a kid.
His voice is deeper.
He's played by a kid.
Child Superman.
Yeah, he's kind of more Superboy, but it's still good.
I think he looks like Superman, though.
Yeah.
Everyone's like really missing that other guy. But...
Have they done a Superman thing where it's an evil Superman twist? Oh, so creative. But he's like 15 and he's a dick. But everyone on Earth knows that they've got to behave around him.
Yeah, James Gunn did that.
Brightburn. Yeah.
Yeah. It's called Brightburn. Did you see it, Pear?
No.
Me neither.
Is it good?
I didn't see it.
Is that James Gunn?
What about Superman, old Superman, say the cartoons, he looked like he was in his 40s or something.
Yeah.
That's the chin.
Like they don't do that. Like I would actually be interested in seeing a kind of more stately, older Superman.
Me
Do you
too.
think you could relate to him more?
Yeah.
Well, the problem is too. It's just that everyone
was-
looks like little boys. And
Yeah, that is true. Like the 30-year-old, we looked at that. Like Timothy Chalamet is
Oh
the
my
same
God.
age
Chalamet.
as like you look at, I don't know, say like who was it, Hulk Hogan or someone, and it's just like these aren't even the same species,
Right. Yeah, exactly.
but they were the same age, and
Yeah.
Hogan. It's like Hogan looked like he was 60 when he was 25, and he's still.
I think Alex Jones was right about those frogs.
Yeah.
So
No, it's something like that. It is.
we are looking younger. That explains me.
Mm.
But not in a good way.
Feels like,
But-
oh look, I got this comic, and I'm like, I bought that from the news agency when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Off the stand, and felt like, you old.
Do you think they should make live action versions of the Bruce Timm DC characters, but they wear prosthetics to look like the proportions of those
Like in Dick
characters?
Tracy, where
No.
they're all like super weird looking.
Make it AI.
Physically modified people to look like that.
No way. Comics legend. Reese is 24 years old when he played Superman. Get
Wow.
out of here.
That's crazy.
He was.
Like
That's
this is,
crazy.
and
Oh
you
my
can
God.
see when they show the graphs of the declining testosterone in males over the decades. Like that's that. Look at the videos from the 80s of the seniors in high school. They look 35.
Yeah.
We need to go back to hunting and gathering.
We gotta go back. We gotta go back to
Hunter
beef
Biden.
tallow.
Phil,
Hunter
when are you-
gathering.
what age have you pre-planned to start TRT?
I don't know. You could get cleared for it. Like if you have good enough insurance, you just have to. I think it's all about your levels and age. So like if you're past, I don't know, 42, and you do have lower T levels, you could just get it from a doctor, and your insurance will pay for it.
Do you not think we're like a bit safer without all the testosterone? I mean, we're at a safe level of libido right now.
Yeah, do we need safety?
Yeah, bring back getting.
Live on the edge.
There's people out there that are not safe. All right.
Can
No,
I
I'm
can I
saying-
share a screen pair?
And they carry machetes in your neighborhood, Jake.
What'd you say, Michael?
Can you share my screen?
So
Oh, yeah.
first I get the testosterone, then I get the machete,
No.
then I get the women.
Okay, yeah, let's guess how old he is.
Profit.
He's
Well-
17.
Henry has
just
already
guessed
kind of
ridiculously
said
young.
it in the chat. Like, how old do you think he looks without looking at the chat?
Oh,
I
man.
accidentally-
40.
56. 40? No, he looks in his 50s.
60.
That gray
He looks
ears.
to me like he's in his 60s,
Yeah,
late 60s. That's what he looks like to me. If someone.
Oh, what
asked
he
me.
looks like, not what I'm
Yeah.
guessing he actually is. Okay.
But
Yeah.
Henry says he's 48 there,
Hmm.
Oh.
which means he's like, I'm almost as old as him.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness.
It matches up. The similarities are compelling.
Go, this
To,
is me.
to Wilford. What a
I'm
name.
going for Brimley, and I want my telomeres back.
Wilford.
I mean, I have gray in my beard,
Yeah.
but
Oh, apparently the graying of the hair is not age; it is like stress and DNA deterioration.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I've
saw
seen
that
that
video.
tweet
I
too, Jake.
don't know if I believe that though.
I see lots of tweets out there, and I don't know.
No,
which
I
one's
know
the
people
right.
that were graying
I
in
believe
high
every
school.
tweet that comes on my timeline.
The one with the hair falling out, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's not Thingo, it's your you just, and then you scroll down far enough, and they are selling a supplement. Like
Every Zach D. Williams film is true.
Yeah, people
My
get
brother
gray as
has-
teenagers.
My brother has full gray hair, and he 100% believes I dye my hair.
Yeah. How old is he?
And I'm just like, I'm sorry, you got dad's hair. That's just what it is. He was gray.
I can't
by
wait till I
his
get more.
20s.
Yeah, I was
Phil,
born with gray hair.
You just decided to have less. Like, what happened? What was the ethos of the de-Wolverinifying of one's face?
It was Heroes Con.
Everyone pointed and
Con.
laughed too much.
No, I had to look for Heroes Con, so now it's a new.
You were preparing for Heroes Con for a very long time then.
Yeah.
I know that was your standard look.
Yeah, this is just it's like Ragnarok, you know?
Oh, okay.
like-
It's past
more like-
Ragnarok now, huh?
Yeah.
More like Ragnarok. Oh.
You guys, how old was Sean Connery in Doctor No?
12.
This is the first James
I'm
Bond.
gonna look at his wrinkles.
37.
32.
I would say, based off what I can see, I would say that man is 53, but I'm gonna guess it's a lot younger.
He has
Yeah.
the facial personality of a 37-year-old still. Look at his eyes. Yeah, he's got a lot of baked in
Look at those lips.
sunscreen.
Look at those lips, Jake.
Look at the lines, like here and here.
Imagine what you could do with those lips, Jake.
Look at those DSL.
Yeah.
Look at
He's
those puppy
32.
dog.
He's 32.
Oh, I got that right. 32.
32.
32?
That's me in a few months. I'll be 32.
Jesus.
Like
I
that's
read somewhere
crazy.
that you don't age one bit at a time either. You kind of things cascade. Like you look the same for like 10
and then it
years.
all happens at once.
And then you just shrivel at once.
The wall.
And it's not just Asian people. The wall, yes.
He looked good, you know, the whole way. Is it Pierce Brosnan is the same? He still, you know, looks
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
great.
I mean, why do
he's like
why do
70.
Asians all end up getting those rounded teeth?
Huh?
They all end up getting
What?
rounded teeth.
Round teeth?
What do you
Like
mean
round-
rounded teeth?
They're like rounded.
What you talking about?
They
Oh, you're
start
thinking
rounding
of-
up.
What Rainy, what are,
Are your-
Asians
are your
gnawing on
teeth
that you're not telling us about?
Triangular? What are you
Do
talking
they
about?
drink out of a hamster drink bottle on the side of their bedroom?
What do
No.
you mean? Are their teeth like gung, gung, gung?
No, they have the
Yes.
teeth.
Yes.
They have the teeth. If they don't file them, they'll curl up like rabbits into their own brain.
Yeah. We're actually born with like carnivorous fangs, so we have to file them
Disgusting.
down.
File them down.
I don't know about the rounded teeth. I've never seen that. but
I don't
do
even know what the fuck you're talking about.
I do know Asians have naturally thicker skin,
Mhm.
which
So
is
they can-
why they almost get the black don't crack status. But it's not quite as much because obviously they don't have the same amount of melanin in their skin, which is a natural like sunblock. But
Yeah,
they do have thicker skin than white people do.
That's why they
It's
can
a
take
higher
more
bite.
jokes than us.
Yeah.
I've known guys who look actually one of my poker buddies. I mean, he hasn't aged in 30 years. He has a beard now, which is weird because he's Asian. There's a little bit of a tuft here,
Yeah.
but
That much.
he's just like he doesn't age. I'm like, what have you? He says, I'm gonna look like this until I'm 65, and then I'm gonna look like the guy out of Kill Bill up
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
mountain.
Then I'll look 90.
Yeah.
Man,
No,
they
that's
can-
exactly how it was with my parents. Well, my mom, my dad's not Asian. It was just like, oh, she looked really good. She looked like 35 until she was about 50, and then it's just
Yeah.
They can only grow the like side Fu Manchu beards over that. Like if I was walking around, a guy was pointing at me saying something like he was like saying I look like the god of war or something because of the beard. He's like he was like shouting the name of the god. It's the god of war.
Wait, you say you look like Kratos?
No, not Kratos. The
Oh, he
red
probably
guy.
is it Guan Yu? Is it Guan Yu? You look like
An
Guan Yu.
An actual god of war.
Yeah, he's the
You look like Mars.
Chinese
Guan
god
Yu
of
is
war.
the god of war. Yes,
Guan
very
Yu.
well done, Phil.
Yeah. I was also very red in the face too because I'd walked about 3 feet. So it was as red. As red
Dude,
as
he was right. And you said you were red in the face?
I'm always
He was
am.
puffing and panting.
Yeah.
Fair.
I thought
looked
he meant
angry.
Kratos, but he meant Guan Yu. Okay.
Yes,
I
the
get-
real one. Yes. Yes. What's up with that
Red, literally red skin.
guy? Yeah, literally.
Look at him there reading his copy of Carnal. Oh yes, yes, that's a nice.
funny. He have a shape of shifting a penis.
That's Bancroft's poker buddy.
in
Who
the
is that?
boobage. Yes.
Need some more
Long beard, man.
twinks.
I like he's stroking. That's if you had a beard that long, you just stand there stroking it. all
Okay,
day.
you're on a weight loss journey. I'm on a beard growing journey. I am not clipping it. I gotta get it to that point. I need that beard.
He's always
Growing
stroking his
ears
beard.
super long too.
I've been stroking it during this whole thing.
Well, Europeans can't
beard.
like grow beards that straight either. It's you guys have kind of curly
You
beards,
get
so
curly and
yeah.
bushy. I've had a
Asian
beard
beards
out,
do come out
here,
straight.
and it's just a
Mhm.
big Ned Kelly beard.
Beards are fun.
Gross.
Feels like
I have a picture of it.
Beardless.
Oh, there it is. Here.
This great
They're-
big bushy
They're
beard.
dirty.
Oh my god, it's terrorist bankrupt.
you look like
Wow.
you just came out of the Alaskan wilderness.
Bankrupt, did they find that on the streets of New York City?
Yeah, you look like you're undercover in the CIA.
Yeah, I think I grew it to get the photo on the old license. And
Oh,
then
that's fun.
yeah.
Wow.
Alex BRB, are you in the chat? We might be looking for the meme in a little bit.
Yeah, you missed
Parasite
out on the.
released me.
He's
Beam it up.
quickly editing in a log pop, a log bankrupt.
Yeah.
No, last meme he did of me, I did have a big nice beard, so
That wasn't the. Oh yeah, because you were on whilst Asia was happening. The last one I remember of you is when you were Indiana Jones.
Richard Kendall. Let me Google that. Who's Richard Kendall?
Inventor of the iPhone.
Inventor of the Kindle.
Yeah.
No, wrong.
Wrong. I'm trying
Womp
to
womp.
look up.
His birth name was Richard iPhone.
And he invented the Kindle.
Oh look, we got some viewers over on
Richard
the
Kimball. All right. Richard Kimball
Cool.
from Thingo. Is that the Running Man?
New Running Man coming out.
What's
You
the
excited,
run time?
Michael?
What's the run time, Phil?
I don't know yet. 2 hours and some change, probably.
Not enough
Right.
running.
Are you gonna
The
see it?
Fugitive. The Fugitive. Right. I'm getting completely confused here.
Are you gonna see the Running Man remake, Michael?
Yeah, I think so. I think I would. I really like the Running Man. And I feel like it's definitely a movie of its time. I watch it pretty regularly. I still love it, but it is
Really?
very dated.
Based on another Stephen King story.
Yeah. Actually, is it? I thought it was, but I don't think it is actually. I thought it was as well, but I don't think it is. I think
No, it
it's
is.
based,
It's based
on...
off of a novella he did.
No, I
A
I
lot
read the
changed
novella.
for the
It's-
Schwarzenegger one.
It doesn't have anything to do. No, it's Richard Bachman wrote the novel.
That's his other pen.
Oh, okay, all right, that's fair enough. Okay, so that is Stephen King. Yeah, that book has very little to do with the movie. Like it's
Yeah, that's what I
very
heard.
loosely based off it. I was kind of disappointed in the book because I love the movie so much.
Mhm.
I suppose it should be the other way around.
He has another adaptation coming out called The Long Walk. Did you see the trailer for that?
Nope.
It's like a group of like late young men, like probably like late teenagers, and they just have to walk across the country, and whoever's the last man standing gets like a bunch of money.
Oh, so it's like Mr. Beast the movie.
Yeah, yeah, but there's military men following them, and if they stop, they get like executed or something.
Oh my god. Okay.
But I think it's like part of this like national lottery where you like train to enter this long walk, and whoever wins
That sounds like that's in that subgenre
There's
of like
just
the
some
open
like
random.
Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Is that like is Squid Game
Fuck.
like a life or death thing for money? Is that what that is?
Mhm.
I never actually watched it.
Do they
but I
get
figured that's
killed?
what it was.
Yeah, and this I haven't seen it, but yeah, in Squid Games, you get killed if you don't complete the task correctly.
Did you know
It's like-
they're making Forrest Gump, but it's going to be a crossover with the Speed franchise?
Is it called Speed Gump?
Yeah, they put a bomb in his heart if he goes below a certain speed whilst running.
That's just Crank. Isn't that Crank? Isn't that a Jason Statham film?
Yeah,
When we
that's
have to have
it.
sex in public to keep his heart rate up.
Yeah. It should make Forrest Gump, but it's Crank, and it's just a learning to see. I need to fuck off. I'm gonna die.
Well, he would have died the way Jenny was cock blocking him the whole way.
If I drop below a
Bitch.
certain speed, the age is gonna get me, Jenny.
I'm not a
But it's
smart
it's
man.
Jason Statham, so he's like Lieutenant Dan.
The
Lieutenant
doctor's
Dan.
told if I slow down, it'll advance quickly.
You know something? I heard.
Listen to me very carefully.
I watched I've been down a little
gonna
mini
run.
Sam Hyde rabbit hole lately.
Yeah,
And
It's the
I'm
best
probably
rabbit
about to
hole.
stop
one.
that soon. But he did one on boomers or whatever, and he said that Forrest Gump is like the boomer Bible or whatever. It's their like tone.
yeah, he's like
or ultimate.
boomer Jesus.
I liked his one on Black Conspiracies Are True because it's the bell curve of like midwits don't know anything, and both ends of the extreme are correct, but for different reasons. Like a smart guy is like, I'm not watching TV because it rots my brain. But the Black Conspiracy is like, there's a man on the other side of the screen looking at me. There's knowing everything I do. They're both right.
Let's keep Sam.
I didn't know
Sam
that
Hyde.
was a
Let's have Sam Hyde tackle those ones. Big.
That's the truth.
See this video. I don't know if you're representing it in a faithful way.
Oh, I get it.
That remake is happening of Forrest Gump. Hey, have you got on a Sam Hyde binge because I've already been talking to Admiral Wagner?
But yeah, well, no, I don't know. Is he into that? Yeah.
He
Yeah.
does.
It's just how YouTube works. I clicked on one and then it was a million.
You
others.
watched the Elon Musk one, and now you have to watch every other one.
Yeah,
You gotta
yeah.
watch the his Hitler's right hand guy, Hitler's top.
That
guy.
is a funny skit. Yeah, that's a little older now. That's funny though.
Bill, I don't remember that one. Can you remind me verbatim of the entire script?
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it justice.
It's
good, though.
Yes, but
That's
Forrest
okay.
Gump, I'm kind of scared to rewatch that movie. I kind of want to defend it. I keep.
Well, it's Tom
flip-flopping.
Hanks.
I love
Weird.
Forrest Gump. I
Forrest Gump's great.
rate
But
Forrest
you
Gump
just can't
high, I think.
defend Tom Hanks now. You know.
I
my
my
girlfriend put on-
crawl, Jedi.
My girlfriend
Jacob-
put on the
Jacob,
Americas
meme is up.
show.
Post a bonus meme. Jake, can you say $2?
I can right this way. Oh wait, did it work? Oh well.
Just say
Did-
it.
$2.
Oh, it was interrupted. Can you say it again?
You killed your own mic.
Yeah.
Oh, $2.
There you go.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
You guys know Irene did a stream, and all she did was jokingly mock the voice I did, and she kept getting shitloads of super.
Well, I was saying I wish I had a soundboard so I could do the voice, and I started just reading super chat amounts in a goofy voice, and people kept giving me super chat. So you are welcome to continue doing that, chat. Thank you.
Damn.
I will do the voice.
Now that is money.
Did the
that's
sound
cool.
clip play, by the way, or not?
No.
Oh. My mic's fucked. It works perfectly all the time, and then suddenly, as soon as I start recording voiceovers for this trailer, oh, that's been a good rabbit hole. Oh, do an animated version of your comic. Oh, that'll be easy. Yeah, the animation's easy, but what? Now you have to make an entire radio play with sound effects and ambient sounds for the whole thing. It's gonna take all damn week to do like 30 seconds. We need an audio engineer friend.
Sure, someone out there knows how to do
I-
this stuff.
I've
I know a
always
music
gotten-
guy. You coulda asked.
We need to
you need
do
this
some
in, like, a
spirit
week.
cooking, Jedi.
Jenny was a villain, by the way.
Yeah, she's
Oh,
the
yeah.
worst. She wasn't even that hot either.
A hot villain.
She
No,
was
she wasn't.
probably the best he was gonna do.
Well, for sure.
but-
Yeah, but-
Well, if he had have let anyone know that he was a shrimp billionaire and an Apple early investor, he would have, been worked better for him. But that's just not his style.
Listen carefully. Life is like a box of chocolates.
That's not the correct voice, Phil.
There's like a 90s.
You know what my
subgenre
favorite
of-
Tatum character is? Is the spy in that movie with Melissa McCarthy.
I've
Have
never
you seen that?
No, I
Oh,
refuse.
dude, it's so funny.
Oh.
In that.
The cover of it looks cringe. Why would you even let yourself venture further than the poster for it?
This is a non sequitur, but since we're talking about action movies, I finally watched Mission Impossible.
The first
The
one?
original?
I thought
Yeah.
I thought you were about to say the Mario movie.
25-year-old
I
movie.
also watched the
You
Speaking-
killed Mike Coon.
Yeah,
Mike
it
Coon,
was
you
so
killed
cute. I love the Mario.
Super Mario
movie.
Brothers from the 90s?
No,
the-
the new
the-
one.
Oh, get out of here then.
No, it was cute.
Go
I'm
watch
like-
the original.
I'm experiencing Mario and Nintendo in reverse order. First, I've been to Nintendo Land, and then I watched a movie, and maybe next I'll play a game.
You watch the movie and you're like, I was there. It's real.
Joe watch the John Leguizamo film. And let me know what you think.
Yeah, it's got the
Yeah.
two guys from Home Alone playing Mario and Luigi.
It's not
Sort of.
They're so cute.
Except
Except for Princess
okay.
Peach, who's annoying.
you guys, let's look at this meme. What is this? What is the red fish? So we're on the moon, full moon. Jake has called it. There's fireworks going off. Earth in
We're
the
fighting on the
background.
moon.
Red fish says Happy
Red-
Independence and
That's
Comics
the red
Day.
herring.
Yeah, the red herring. But
Independence
it's not
Day
it's not
comics.
hairy enough.
Yeah.
But
No. Okay.
what-
So the red herring. When
what
were
a
we talking
dick,
about red
though.
herrings? What was that quote?
Sending
That's
sending
like a
people-
misleading thing, right? Red herring. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we weren't talking about that. The red herring is a red herring.
Yeah.
We're
Okay.
playing Stratego? Is that what this is?
Yeah, okay.
With enough
no-
peer pressure, I
No.
can do anything. Napoleon Bonaparte.
nothing in the meme applies to anything that happened in the show because it's random.
Ah,
How
Aw,
meta.
that cute little Napoleone.
And Alex right now is going to say, "Fuck! I wish I did that." It's all actually
I like how
connected.
we're all in uniform and Jake is just.
Yeah,
Gilgamesh
just in
style.
this ancient Aztec outfit.
No,
Yeah,
he's
the
dressed like the fucking
Miss-
Gilgamesh card or whatever.
Yeah, I am the Gilgamesh.
Oh, sweet.
Right?
It's Jakemesh, says Alex.
Now, what
That's-
is this dragon here? Is this anything?
No, that's a DM screen, but it
It's
looks like it's in the
random.
wrong place.
It's random.
It's the red dragon.
It's when we talked about
You
dragons
see-
for like 10 minutes.
I like little Napoleon. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It is very cute.
All right, Michael, want to read yours?
Oh, Napoleon.
She's screaming, "My boy, give me back my boy!" Why doesn't she dream about Bender? Don't be comfortable, basically. Just be hot or freezing and you'll live longer.
Ah,
Words
That's what
to live by.
that's what the Twitter feed says.
Mm-hmm. It does.
Okay.
You look like the leader of our group, and that's good
Yeah.
advice.
Yeah, I look like my picture.
You
Oh,
all look
wow.
like you're all Napoleon.
I will
It's-
follow Bancroft.
It's
Yeah,
like
but
this-
I have all the fine, things on my outfit. I'm
Accoutrements.
clearly the boss.
Jewelry.
I'm just the visiting god. They do soaking in Japan. You do the jumping bit. Jumping for a bit, then we'll switch. Can they take you to court and what the fuck? I already said this once. Can they take you to court and tire him out? He should kill him. Then the bird shits on him.
All right, here's mine. I don't know, bitch. You're hungry, right? So some you need to make money. That shackles the plot. When you break into an apartment, the apartment is random, so it's fun.
that's
It's the-
good.
It's
That
the
actually makes
summer of
sense.
schwitzen for me.
Spitzen. You use that word too much.
Spitzen.
All right. They throw these golden winged balls that explode. God damn it, Alex. Fondle them is what I say. It's Broback Mountain. Speaking of soaking, I feel like that's something you told us you did at Heroes.
They're just giving us all the wrong
Good one.
quotes.
Good one.
Put the sideburns back on. That's 13% less gay. Scooters are very dangerous when you're weaving around cars. There are two paths to take. It's either draw boobs or cute things. I feel like I made more spicy comments during this show, but pretty good, pretty good.
Yeah, what about the
wisdom.
Alex? What about the part where she quoted Sam Hyde short bits?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You put
definitely
that
did
in
that.
Racist.
Yes.
And here's
Oh, what is this?
it's the bonus
a 1,
meme.
2. The dice is on a 1. This is that's perfect.
Look at my hat has become some kind of
Wow. It's like a cloak
It's-
hood.
ceremonial
Yeah,
do-rag.
Some like wizard do-rag with an emblem on it. Everybody looks like themselves too, except for Phil, because he doesn't have his sideburns anymore.
Bankrupt
That
said, you're
looks
an
like me
ancient Lucent.
I
Amazing.
am.
Yeah, it'll be
Um,
much easier for Alex to represent me in things now. That's why I shaved my face.
What is the trap in time? What is that? Is that from Lucent?
You didn't spot the trap in time. So I mean, when you're
It's
playing
a
D&D,
sentence.
Oh, you didn't spot the
need to
trap
spot
in
traps.
time.
It's
Yeah.
about D&D.
It's a time loop trap. We didn't spot it in time. In time.
I look
There
really
was a
mad.
trap in time, and you did not spot it in time.
Phil, the sideburns are not being removed from your character drawing.
They are.
They stay. No one would know who you are. If you just
We
drew-
What-
drew
we
on a
what's his
demand-
hand up to?
We've decided the sideburns will stay.
Yeah, what's up with this? Can you explain this, Irene? A little sus.
What?
Also, why is there a random finger
It's
just hanging out
AI.
of Jake's belt? You see that?
Ah, what's happening?
That's my backup finger, and no more questions can be asked.
That's your
What is going
your,
on?
pull
It's
cue.
AI.
Whoa,
What? It's
bro.
like
pull cue.
fingers sticking out of your kidney.
Look, we're in a
Oh my
dungeon,
God.
and there's a finger-activated keypads, and none of you wanted to take the finger from the dead body, the entrance.
Yeah.
It makes
I
sense why
would.
Rainey is sweating so much there.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Finger.
He's gonna finger everybody.
She's blindly reaching for the
Weird
finger.
thing.
Like taking someone's finger off is called fingering them.
That's a cardinal sin.
Amazing.
Yeah.
If Jake were to design a D&D campaign, that's what would happen.
It could be
Very
my finger.
tight-
Look, looks like I only have
tight.
4.
Oh God.
You just asked me to keep it safe for later.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Can you hold my finger? I'm reading this book.
I go quick, Jake, finger me.
It's all right. I'll put it on my finger. I'll put it on the finger
What?
notch on my belt.
Catch it.
I've got you, bro. Fingering's my special ability.
Oh crap, I rolled a 1. Shit. We didn't
Ah.
spot the trap.
I'm gonna finger you so hard now.
13% less gay.
Amazing.
Is it still called fingering if it's two guy?
What else is it called? Are you guys
Guy
not using
fingering is like
fingers?
Chinese.
what's-
Talking about.
Finger.
Thank you, Jake. I'm officially 44 years old, and I hadn't thought about that until now. And now that has entered my brain.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
I went 44 years without picturing that, and now I have. Thank you.
Isn't it called oil checking? Instead-
Oh. Oh.
I feel like you've soiled my mind somehow.
Welcome to Creative Block.
Yeah.
Oh no, welcome to you.
Welcome
Yeah, you just fingered my mind, my fractured mind.
Alex is hastily making a second meme of me.
Yes!
fingering you.
A third meme.
Quick, AI Midjourney. The big fat bearded long head guy is fingering in Australia.
He's fingering the whole panel.
50-foot
Oh no.
four-headed kangaroo, man.
Amazing as
Yeah.
always, Alex.
Still is Gilgamesh.
Thank you, Alex.
Alex,
Thanks,
why am I
Alex.
never a hedgehog? Why am I always a me? Why is Narwhal never a narwhal? Huh?
Aww.
Don't
We could
make
make that happen,
demands.
maybe.
This is why the AI is deeply flawed. It doesn't know what narwhals are. It doesn't know what hedgehogs are.
It doesn't know what
I'm
a
sure
cap
it
is.
can.
It
It'll
doesn't
probably
know what
make
fingering
an
is.
abomination, half human hedgehog creature.
Wait, Pear, I have something to show.
It's true.
What?
Tomorrow is 4th of July,
You got a red, white, and blue shell bean?
Independence Day, and we're doing
Wait, so-
a special early Diaz Brothers show. We're doing 2 giveaways that some lucky chatter will win. And this is the first one. This is the
Yeah, I was
people
right.
shell bean,
Wait.
red, white, and blue.
Oh,
And I don't have it, but I have a mini
Yeah, a bit of
baseball
yellow
bat
on
that
the
goes
red, white,
with
and
them.
blue.
Yeah, looks like Ronald McDonald shell bean.
He's got his little hood back here. He does have a small mini baseball bat that comes with him. We'll show it off tomorrow. And then this is some people are calling it the French shell bean, but it's this is the bomb pop shell bean, and it'll come with a popsicle stick that we'll put in here tomorrow.
aw.
You
Why
should
does it
make
need
it.
a stick in there?
What'd you say?
Why does it need a stick in there?
Because it's like you ever heard of a bomb pop? We have this thing over here. It's like a popsicle, and it looks like a rocket, and it's
You mean a
red, white,
rocket?
and blue.
It's called a rocket pop.
Do you
It's called a
blow it up with your fireworks tomorrow? Is that the goal?
No. I hope not. They can do whatever they want with it. But no, it's a bomb pop. It's not a rocket pop.
You're gonna blow that shell bean?
It wouldn't be the first time.
Jake's very uncensored today.
Yeah, I think since he's
It's
left
great.
Asia, he's been
Oh,
We're
you have to be
debaucherous.
It up.
you have to be so restrained. Oh, I will walk around doing voices in public. That usually gets me in trouble. I don't think I did Asia voice. I didn't do Asia voice in Asia. In public. I did in Mexico.
That is true,
Oh,
Henry
God.
Bemis. We don't do bomb pops. We have golden gay times. It's a lot.
yeah,
Called rocket pops.
much different. There you go.
I called the red, white, and blue shell bean, and Phil was like, "Yeah."
Yeah,
We finish
well-
each other's.
a short one. Sandwiches.
Sandwiches.
Hey, we got a 3-way going.
Yes.
I'm very tired.
Please end the show. Save us.
Yeah. Go
Back
look at
fractured
the
mind. That's it. End it.
back the Lucent fractured mind, the lucent.com.
Fractured
Sign up
Mind,
for-
links in the chat. Sign up for Jake's and Rainey's. Buy my original art. And
I'm
Phil's
launching
Western,
in
you got
7
nothing.
days. I'm launching in
Phil's
7
Western
days.
is on the horizon.
I'm launching in 20 days. Sign up at fiendishcomic.com.
Is
I'll
it
launch
20?
in 47 days.
It's very specific.
Magnifique. All right, I'm gonna click the button. I think. I'll send you
Okay.
some of the
All right.
fireworks.
Bye, guys.
Go subscribe to the
Peace.
real channel.
Yeah.
You guys can still talk if you want. We're just gonna enjoy some fireworks for a second.
Talking. Happy 4th of July.
No one answered if it is still fingering if it's guys. No one answered.
Fuck the British.